so that the stream can hear.
Oh, no.
Poor stream.
Oh, I could have. Yeah. Okay. You're good. You're good now, right? Awesome. It's not muted now.
Yeah. Sorry about that, guys.
Nope. No big deal.
Our wonderful listeners do the classic thing where we get a million comments of people going,
yeah.
There's no sound. There's no sound.
You know what?
Yeah,
it's helpful because we want to fix it.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. As long as they aren't calling people names, it's all good. We appreciate you.
Dumb.
You idiots. Turn on the sound, morons. You morons. Do you guys know that meme?
Morans?
Yeah, do you guys know that meme? It's
a
Cardinals fan holding a sign.
Yeah, M-O-R-A-N.
And it's like something like wake up morons instead of morons.
Yeah.
Moron. I love the insult of moron.
Yeah.
I think that's
classic.
a funny name to call someone. Like, I've been called a moron before by listeners, and it just makes me laugh.
The tone is actually like almost like a humorous one.
Yeah, it's a funny name.
Yeah. I don't know, like if somebody says it angry, it doesn't feel angry.
Right. Yeah.
Like idiot can feel angry. You idiot.
Mm-hmm.
You moron.
It's like moron. It's like, hey, that's like that's a nice whimsical name to call someone. It's outside the box of insults.
Wes says I wasn't going to start calling names for about another 10 or 15 more seconds. Good restraint, Wes. We appreciate it. Actually, I don't mind being called names. I actually kind of enjoy it.
Don't call us names.
Is it weird that, like,
no matter what Wheeler says, Rachel and I don't enjoy being
don't
called
do it
names.
to Rach or Andrew or Dave. You can call me names. It's fine. I don't mind. Toughens me up, man. I like it. You can learn to take the pain.
You can call me a moron. That's
yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Rach likes that. Is there a name that you would like to be called, Andrew, other than Andrew? Like, do you prefer being called like a doofus? Or doofus is a good one too, by the way.
You doof.
I can't say I prefer being called doofus if I'm being totally honest with you. Moran is fine with an A. I don't mind. That one's okay. I'll take that
That's
one.
the greatest meme ever. Appreciate that one.
I have
quite
seen
a bit.
that one. That is a good one.
All right, so our beef is squashed.
Did you eat the cookies?
No, what I will now. Now
Yeah,
that I
eat
know.
One.
Now that
Take
I
them
know.
home. Take them all home.
I ate one back on that day.
Yeah.
Because they're good. I like those kind of cookies.
I like it's an
With-
iced sugar cookie,
yes,
right?
yeah,
That's my favorite type of cookie.
I don't love a nice sugar cookie. I don't know why. They're not my favorite.
I get
Oh,
that.
they're so good.
Yeah, that's
I
all
like
right.
it. I like
we're happy.
oatmeal.
We're
I like
happy.
oatmeal
Yeah, there.
cookie.
See, you're like I do too, by the way. But so many people are haters on that.
I know.
Mhm.
People hate an oatmeal cookie. I'm like, I don't know, man.
I'm trying to think of a type of cookie I don't like.
Mm,
I like them all. I think
most ones with like, if it has coconut, I'm out.
I can do coconut on a cookie.
Those sugar cookies that are like little sugar cookies and they have a Hershey's Kiss in the middle of them pushed down.
You like those?
My aunt makes those. Ooh, those are some good stuff.
Those are good when you use a Reese's peanut butter cup too.
Also very good. Yes.
Yeah, you know what's even better is when you make a peanut butter cookie and then you do that.
Yes.
You got to double up on
That
the
was
TV,
like an
man.
involuntary noise for me just now.
that was from your soul. That was like every part of Rachel just going yum. I got to tell you, man, there's not much better than like peanut butter anything.
I agree.
Not
I
much.
don't like the peanut butter. Hate people who aren't into peanut butter. I'm like, I mean, there are people who are allergic, and that's
Well,
fine.
you guys
I don't
get
expect you to die. For
you
the
get a hall
butter,
pass on that.
but,
We'll forgive you.
Yeah,
You can hate peanut butter. It's fine. We
But
get
if
it.
you just sort of like peanut butter. I find that weird.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried combining it with chocolate?
Or literally everything. Honey, you name it.
Oh yeah.
Bread. It doesn't matter. So as I mentioned, a lot to do today, not talking about cookies and peanut. Although I think sometimes we are at our strongest when we're talking food.
Yeah, I agree. That's when it really flows.
It's either food or BTS. That's when we're at our strongest. I was impressed, by the way, by how impacted Dave Murray was by the BTS talk yesterday.
He knew a lot about them.
Did you think so? I thought he was more like just like sitting back stunned and awed.
Well, he may have been patronizing me, but every time I said something, he went, I know. I
think he was.
Oh, okay.
I think he was.
Have you ever heard Andrew sing BTS karaoke?
No.
I think, let me see if this hotkey still works because we have it right here. We could play it.
You
if we
recorded
wanted
it?
to.
It was on the air.
It was on the air.
And
Yeah.
I'm not doing it again. So if it's on.
Let's see if this still
So
works.
if it's not there,
And if
well.
it's the wrong thing, I'll just fade out real quick.
All right.
Here we go.
That's the wrong thing.
Let's rock and roll.
That's the wrong thing. That's the
Oh, we
wrong
don't want an
thing.
English version.
Like a rolling stone. Jump up to the top, bro.
Why are you laughing so
Show me on
much?
my phone, iced tea, and a game of ping pong.
It was silly, Kevin.
This is
Okay.
getting heavy. Can you hear the bass boom? I'm ready.
Oh my God.
Sweetest honey. Yeah, shit like money.
The greatest moment of my life.
Trish wasn't even here yet. Trish was remote.
Oh man, I wish we could put that in the
It do be-
podcast.
Oh man.
having a good beat.
Hey, Doobie.
Well, there you go.
Really good
I should have.
stuff.
You know what? I'm now glad that I pulled the restriction off of the BTS because that was worth it. Just to hear Trish go, "Oh my God!"
Well, we didn't hear it, but at the end she goes, "I'm sorry, I asked."
Yeah, 'cause she dared me. This was we weren't even on KMOX
Yeah, we
yet.
were on 97.1.
Oh,
This was
really?
still on
All right.
KMOX. This
So
was like
this is a
6
while
years.
back.
Yeah, this was like 6 years ago.
Is that pre-COVID?
He was during COVID.
yeah, it was during
during
COVID.
COVID. Okay.
And Trish was remote joining us as a guest, and she dared me to do it. And then, as soon as I did it, she went, "I'm sorry, I asked."
Man, I was almost sorry that I asked, but now I'm really happy that I asked. That was phenomenal.
It was awesome.
I want to hear you try it one of these days. Like maybe go into a studio where
Sure.
nobody else is around,
Yeah, I wanted
and
to
then
do the rap.
not laughing.
Sure,
Like try to do it for reals.
sure. Give me some alcohol.
He's like, yeah, I'll just bring some. We have booze back there.
We do.
We still have the spicy tequila.
We do. I've been drinking that. It's pretty
You
good.
like it?
Yeah, it's not bad. Have you had it?
There you go. I'm not big on spicy, but I do like tequila.
Try it with one of your
Yeah,
beloved
I'm not a
margs.
big fan of the spicy part
One
in
of your
that.
beloved margs.
Nah, I don't want to besmirch the traditional margarita. It's too good.
And
Too
I
much of a
haven't
legend.
I haven't heard that BTS song in a long time.
Man,
That's
I've
good
been
song.
scheming on getting myself a margarita for days now.
Yeah.
And I'm getting one either tonight or tomorrow night.
Very
I'm
nice.
going out for Mexican.
I think
I'm so excited.
later tonight watching a movie might be the play.
Ooh, yeah, that sounds fun.
That's usually the play like that. And I don't know why, but my go-to with that is pretzels.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
love pretzels with
No,
that.
that's
Yeah.
a real thing. Yeah.
I mean, it's better with tortilla chips, but I usually have pretzels. I don't always have tortilla
Mhm.
chips.
Do you make them yourself? Do you use a mix or do you mix the?
The margaritas?
Yeah,
I
use
just
like a
buy
pre-made mix?
I buy the Costco one. It's the best.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
It's not even kidding. It's like a 1.8 liter bottle for like $9.50 or $9.95.
That is
that
is like the finest value for
but
alcohol.
it's also
you can get.
so good. It's not like
Mm.
crappy. You know, some of them are like, I'm not going to name names of the brands, but some of the premix ones you get at the grocery store, they're just, it's like Kool-Aid.
Mhm.
Very, very little punch to it. Not a lot of flavor. No, the Kirkland one is legit.
Okay.
It's legit. You can spruce it up a little bit, throw your own little lime in there or whatever. You can spruce it up, but no, I'm good with that. I don't need to make it. I can just pour it. That's fine.
You should bring ice from here for your margarita.
Oh,
The chunky ice.
The chunky, crunchy
I could do
ice.
that, or I could stop on my way home at there's a QT near my exit and just fill up a cup with the ice.
Hell yeah.
It's pretty good. We have just regular. Oh, you know what? No, can I do that? No, I can't. I don't have the ice cruncher on my fridge.
Mm.
I just get cubes. Yeah. I can salt the cup though. We have the salt and the little ringy thingy.
Nice.
Ringy thingy. It's the lid for the salt.
you have an ice maker
Sorry.
on your fridge?
I have
Lucky.
ice makers in Ange. Are you ready for this flex? In both my fridges.
Mr.
Whoa, two
fridges. Mr. Billionaire
I
over
was,
here.
I was over here like, I almost said like lots of people do, and then I'm like, I don't.
No, I
don't.
We got a main floor regular kitchen fridge and we got a basement fridge.
Is it a full size fridge?
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, I didn't know you were that rich.
I
Wheels.
don't mean to flex, but
Basement
I have
fridge.
2 fridges. Although the one that was in the basement, the one that is in the basement, we didn't purchase it. It was there when we bought the house.
Do you have
Can you
different
buy
items for the
fridges?
downstairs
What?
fridge?
What's that?
Do you have different items that you keep in the downstairs
Mostly that
fridge?
one's like a storage one. That's like, okay, we went to Costco and we got a lot of crap. So the freezer's, full of the stuff that can't fit upstairs. And the fridge in the basement is like my drinky fridge. So it's got my margaritas and my dews and, Gatorades and all that stuff.
I always thought it was like the height of luxury when people had a garage fridge.
Yeah.
Those are pretty
Beers
good
and
too.
such.
But I'm going to tell you, the man cave fridge is better because when you're in the man cave, you do not have to go upstairs
Yeah.
to go get anything. It's right there.
Good point.
We used to have a microwave down there, and I think it broke.
Do you have like a grabber for your chair, and then you can just grab stuff out of the fridge without
The fridge is way too far away.
getting up? Oh, okay.
It's on the other side of the room. It's 20 feet away.
That's way too far.
It's way too far.
You got to move that.
I think what I got to do is I got to train my dogs to go do that.
There you go. I've seen. People,
Although they're
they
too little though. Like my dogs can't reach the handle. So
There, people train their dogs to do that.
yeah, I got to get a bigger dog and we'll teach him how to do that. Hey, buddy, go get me a Gatorade.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate, paid for by Bayer.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
ZipRecruiter is the place. ZipRecruiter is the place for talented teachers, savvy software developers, and master mixologists. ZipRecruiter is the place where you meet all these people and more. That's because ZipRecruiter is the place for job seekers who are looking for new opportunities. In fact, ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day, so you can find the right candidates right away. It's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the place for skilled skydiving instructors, accomplished airbrush artists, and proficient pediatricians. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter to hire, you're missing out. ZipRecruiter is the place that's so confident it can make your hiring easier that it lets you try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. So if you want the right candidates for all your roles, ZipRecruiter is the place to go. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/free. That's ziprecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Summer is on the way, or should I say the heat in St. Louis, it's on its way. Be here before we even know it. If you haven't had your air conditioners checked and set up and ready to go for this cooling season, or if you were told you might need a new one, or you just think this is the time of the year, this year is the time to just go ahead and replace it. Prices are down, 0% financing is available. It's still the best time to call me. Don't put it off. One easy number in Missouri and Illinois. It is 314-293-2600. Again, that's 314-293-2600 in Missouri and Illinois, or on the internet, bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup. SNL Coin. We buy gold and silver coins, silver and gold jewelry. Also buying gold-filled and silver plates. Before you sell, call SNL 314-544-3600. 314-544-3600. SNL Coin.
The Chris and Amy Show. Weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Man, I don't know if you guys, if you're watching on the stream ever, you can see that a lot of times during breaks, I'm like eyes down because I'm usually I'm scrolling Twitter, sometimes answering an email or whatever. And sometimes we really benefit from that. Like I see, breaking news, Cardinals did this or some other thing. And other times you see something and you're like, oh, what's that? So I looked over and I see that Plutarch is trending, and I'm like, Plutarch? Why would that ever be trending on Twitter? Like, I'm going to talk about this old Greek philosopher. Like, what's going on? And I clicked on it, and it's just a thing for a Hunger Games movie, which is fine. It's a character. I didn't know that character, or at least didn't remember. I don't know much about the Hunger Games other than I watched the movies, and they were pretty decent. Do you guys like those movies?
I'm not crazy about the movies, although I do like Jennifer Lawrence a lot.
Okay.
liked the books. I read the
Mhm.
books whenever they came out, and I really enjoyed them. I
Yeah, they're
know
pretty
that
good.
I think there's a new prequel.
Yeah, that's what they're casting.
Okay.
So that character, I guess I don't remember this at all because I've only watched the movies once. But Philip Seymour Hoffman was that character, and they've cast Jesse Plemons to play that character now. I can see that a little bit.
For sure. Yeah.
There's some physical similarities.
They've got similar vibes going on.
Yeah. They both have that, I don't know what's that kind of serious look.
Mm-hmm.
Kind
And
of
they're
serious.
both pale with blonde hair.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Oh, I'm looking at the picture right now. But anyway, you see the weirdest things like throughout the course of the day that you would never expect. And I enjoy that part. But then you also get like the number one thing that trends, I think, on Twitter at all times is anger.
Yeah.
It's literally like whether it's, and if you see a thing like Cardinals are trending, guarantee when you click on it, it's just angry people. And when you click on any other thing, it doesn't even matter what it's going to be, but they're almost every one of the trends will lead to some anger-based thing. Not 100%, right? Sometimes, somebody just won a big championship or a big movie just came out and you'll click on that and it'll be like, this movie's great. But it's amazing how much anger motivates action on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything even come close to that? I mean, like, does happiness even come close? Does something fun even come close to generating the reaction that anger does?
I thought I had seen a stat recently that people referenced like happiness technically more than anger.
Really?
Online.
Do they get the engagement? Like, do they get the responses?
I think the really, really feel good stuff.
Okay.
It's a really good response. It's just we're so conditioned to something negative is always going to stick out more than something positive.
Yeah.
Like if you get 10 nice comments and one person calling you a moron, like which one are you going to remember?
You're going to remember the moron.
Yep.
Yeah. And look, I'm sure there's some evolutionary thing that makes sense in there too, right? Because any reaction, typically anger or fear, which are connected, would mean back in the way back times that there's something dangerous that you have to deal with right now.
Yeah.
So you tend to react to that more. And when you're happy, you're typically safe. You're typically in a spot where you're comfortable. So your reaction wouldn't be as direct. So I wonder if I'm sure there's some evolutionary thing, but I also know that there are people that really take advantage of it. I mean, like rage baiting and engagement and all that. That is really a true thing.
Yeah, like they're hoping for anger. It's not just like
No, it's the point.
Expression of their feelings. It's
Right.
like I want to get as many people angry as possible, so I get as much engagement as possible.
Right, because and the engagement is where they get paid.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they don't get paid on the quality of what they're doing. They get paid by the number of clicks that tweet gets or that the link in the tweet gets. Right, so we're actually financially incentivizing rage baiting.
That's a sad world.
That's wonderful.
In Kirkwood, mornings start early, and so does the news. From downtown shops to the farmers market, KMOX is on.
Congratulations, Debbie in Kirkwood. Debbie from Kirkwood has won tickets to see the Battlehawks play.
Oh, she's going to have a good time.
Oh, she's going to have the best time.
Now on 104.1 FM, KMOX is clearer than ever. Same great stories, same trusted voices, just easier to catch. 104.1 FM, KMOX, the voice of Kirkwood, the voice of St. Louis.
Once you do it, you'll ask yourself, why did we wait so long? I'm talking about making your outdoor space the place that you've always dreamed of, whether you'd like it to be Party Central or your personal place of rest and relaxation, or a combination of the two. Chesterfield Fence and Deck can make that magic happen for you. So just give them a call or stop by their beautiful showroom and warehouse in the Chesterfield Valley or online right now at chesterfieldfence.com. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is the sign you have the very best, because other places may offer you a rock bottom price, but you have to consider what kind of a value you're getting when that deck or fence starts splintering, cracking, the nails popping out just one season later. Chesterfield Fence and Deck guarantees their work. They have their own crews with years of experience installing these outdoor projects, and they stand behind everything they do. So it is a true value because it lasts for years to come and it'll look gorgeous. Mention me, Debbie Monterey, and get 20% off your next outdoor project, chesterfieldfence.com.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and music director Stefan Deneuve for Peer Gynt, a fully staged live performance featuring the SLSO, the St. Louis Symphony Chorus, and a cast of actors, puppets, and sets. Edvard Grieg's Peer Gynt is rowdy, charismatic, and outrageous, and it is filled with laughter and love. This performance will be a theatrical experience like no other. May 3rd and 4th at Steeple Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
Now it's time for Dave Murray's weather forecast, sponsored by Financial and Tax Strategies.
We will see a few showers around from time to time, and if a thunderstorm gets going, it's non-severe, not raining all the time. 78 for the high, so it stays quite mild. Then tonight, any showers fade quickly this evening. 55 the weekend, Saturday, partly sunny. It's a nice day, though. It's a cooler day, 69 degrees. All is quiet Saturday night. Sunday, partly to mostly sunny and 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It's never too early to start thinking about your retirement journey, and it's never too late either. You just need to know that the steps may look a little different. Listen to Wealth and Wisdom with Gary Goldberg, Saturday mornings at 7 here on KMOX.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10,000, $20,000, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center spotlight is testicular cancer. Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Testis cancer is a disease primarily of men 18 to 45. And so for men in that age segment, we recommend doing just a monthly testicular self-exam. And you can do this in the shower and just basically feel for any abnormal lumps or bumps on the surface of the testicle. And then, of course, if you find something like that, that's when you need to contact your doctor and get further workup.
Thanks to Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Tonight, the Cards, the Brewers. Ameren Total Access 620. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
All right, it's Friday on DGS. Dave taking the long weekend, back on Monday. The rest of the gang here. Sue Thomas going to join us at 2. Alvin Reed at 3. Dave Murray, 3:30. George Mahey, 4. So we're going to have a lot of friends popping in. Obviously, some sports mixed in. Whatever other things happen to pop up. Fast food news. Bernie's going to join us. I forgot to mention that. Bernie's going to join us at 2:30. So we'll get our Cardinals fix as we talk with Bernie. Before we go any further, though, Rach, I demand. I don't know why I almost called you Razor.
Razor.
It's time for Razor's Edge.
Yeah, I want to.
Can I call you Razor?
Yeah, that's totally fine.
Because we can just do that forever.
If you want to.
I kind of like Rach, though. That feels good. Just like, it's normal and regular, but I don't know. Every once in a while, you got to give a little edge. Razor's Edge.
It's time for Razor's Edge.
There we go.
I want to talk about this. I've been wanting to talk about this for about a week. This article is from last Thursday, the 17th, which was also my big brother David's birthday. Happy late birthday. But yeah, this came out on April 17th. So things may have changed since then, but it's not, it's mostly to get a conversation started. It's about Beyonce's tour and the fact that she's not filling stadiums for her Cowboy Carter tour. And this is not to say anything bad about Beyonce. I actually really loved this album. And I don't think she's doing anything that other artists aren't doing. But basically, some of her fans are extremely upset because I guess you can do like a pre-sale for these concerts and pay more money to get a guaranteed ticket. So people were doing that and they spent all this money to get their seats. And then whenever the general ticket sales open up and those don't sell, that really makes people mad. Like, hey, why did you offer me this opportunity to spend more? I didn't even have to do this. I could have just waited with the general public and gotten my tickets and everything would have been fine. And again, this isn't about Beyonce. It's more about the concert ticket industry and how we've all gotten caught up in this. Like, to me, it's a lie, or it's just this weird fake thing where like all the hype surrounding it makes you prepared to spend more and more and more. But sometimes that hype doesn't meet up with reality. And then you're forking over hundreds of dollars to see this artist when you didn't actually have to. I don't know. I've never paid more than maybe $80 for a concert ticket. I've never dropped hundreds.
Man,
I don't think I ever would.
You got off easy.
Yeah, and I've been very spoiled because I've been in radio since I was 18. I was in music radio in college, and we would get free tickets there. And then when I worked at MS, we were with those rock stations, and we would get free tickets through that. So maybe I'm the wrong person to complain about this because I've gone to so many concerts for free, which has been great. But now that I pay for my concerts, I wouldn't spend more than $80. Like,
really?
Even for
even for your favorite.
Even if I were going to see Beyonce, I don't think I could feel good about paying $500.
Yeah, well, I haven't paid $500 for a ticket.
Yeah.
I've never done that. I've definitely paid a couple hundred. And I'd say typical now is like for a big show, right? Not necessarily a local show or a smaller act at a smaller venue, but
big
like,
arena tour, you're probably going to be paying a couple hundred.
I would say, yeah, anything that would be even Enterprise Center or the Dome, for sure, you're probably paying $150 a ticket minimum. I've definitely done like the $250, and I would go higher for certain things, but it would have to be special. It would have to be something that's not happening much, or just one of my very favorites, and I'm also getting really great seats. Right? I'm not a big fan of the idea I'm going to spend $300 and I'm going to be on the other side of the stadium from the stage. But again, I've come close, so it's not that really crazy. That's not that crazy. But is this, guys, do you guys just think this is a natural evolution because artists don't make money selling records anymore? Not the way they used to, right? It used to be a whole lot different thing when you're selling physical copies and people had to go out and buy it. Now I'm just downloading it through Apple Music, or you're seeing it, you're getting it on Spotify at a subscription fee, but that would be nowhere near what you're spending to buy CDs like you were back in the day. I mean, I get it. But it also makes it harder for people to go. When somebody as big as Beyonce's got thousands of unsold tickets for a show in LA, that's surprising.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I guess it could be people just aren't that enthused about this particular record. I don't know, but it sold really well, didn't it?
Yeah. I mean, it could just be people are worried about a recession coming and they don't want to fork out.
That's
the
fair.
money
Yeah,
for
this
tickets,
it's a unique time, right?
It
Where
is.
people are kind of nervous about how those things are going, and if especially when when you're thinking about these making this kind of commitment, like a lot of people had to up front, where you're thinking, oh my God, if I don't do this, I'm not getting tickets anyway. I wonder how many of those will get sold last minute.
I'm sure
where people are maybe ticket brokers bought a lot of them and they're like, well, we got to sell them. So now they're below face value in some cases. Because this is a big thing for sports teams, right? Whether it's hockey, football, baseball, whatever. A lot of times season ticket holders get mad when you get later in a year and all of a sudden the same ticket that they're paying a premium for is now cheaper on a secondhand site. And again, it's part of the deal of making sure you get the tickets you want anytime you want, right? Like if you're in that position to make that decision, what you're paying for is not just the seat at any given game, but that you're guaranteed your spot all the time, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
So that if things are going well and those tickets are hot commodities later in the year, how many Cardinal fans for 10, 15 years benefited from selling their season tickets to friends or to people, or selling them on the secondary market, even at a markup sometimes, because the seats were so popular.
Mm-hmm.
Where now it's the opposite. I think a lot of ticketed events are running into this question about whether you're being charged a premium to get in early or buy season tickets for a sporting event, and then later on feeling like buyer's remorse because those tickets don't all sell, and then the secondary market is now below what you're paying.
Yeah, the thing with the Beyonce tickets, I get why people are so upset, because I'm sure they were in like some sort of like Bayhive club where they got an exclusive email like, hey, here's your chance. You get to cut in line. Okay, cool. I'm going to spend the money. I'm going to do it. And then later you find out I didn't have to do that. Like, I totally get the frustration there. I just think it's funny that we've made it to this point now where it's like, we've all just kind of accepted, yeah, you spend a couple $100 if you want to go see somebody. And by the way, I'm a liar. I just looked through my text messages and I realized I spent $130 on a ticket.
That's still pretty close to what we were talking
but yeah,
about.
it's still in the same ballpark. But yeah, there's also this expectation, especially with pop shows like a Beyonce or Katy Perry, who has really been, she has had a rough couple of weeks.
She's been wearing it a little bit.
But she is touring right now. We're getting ready for a tour or something. And all these videos are surfacing of her on stage, like barely being into her dancing and choreography. People are like, you shouldn't have went to space. You should have spent time.
She's kind of
rehearsals.
like not really all in.
Yes.
Like not trying very
And
hard.
She's being really picked apart. And I just find that interesting because maybe it's the type of music I listen to. I do like pop music, but if I went to a big pop show like that, I'm not necessarily looking for killer choreography.
No,
but a lot of people are.
Yeah,
I think
they're looking for the show.
Yeah,
I think that's more important in pop music than like a lot of other genres.
Well, I guess
right?
because there's not like a band on stage. Or
Also,
anything.
there's a very good chance that poor Katy Perry is not actually singing; she's lip syncing.
So she better be
and if you're
dancing
lip
her butt
syncing,
off.
then you better be putting on a big elaborate show. Also, I think the expectations just been set, not necessarily by her, somewhat by her, but also by others. The expectations been set that if you're doing a great big arena show with, that's very, very expensive and costs a ton of money and in this big giant setting, it better have like a super high production value.
This better be a kick-ass show, right?
A big and exciting show. Yeah.
I agree. I'm looking at these videos now.
Yeah, she doesn't seem
She is not trying very hard.
No,
it almost looks like a high school kid doing like or like a grade school kid that's doing a choir performance. They don't really want to be there,
Mhm.
and they're just kind of like mouthing the words while everybody sings, which is what I did. I hated those things. I hated like we're gonna do mandatory choir.
Mandatory choir is kind of.
I don't want to sing songs. I don't want to do it, so I'm gonna pretend. So
And it was always like the worst songs too.
well, yeah, the
Like,
dumbest.
I would never choose this song. Why are you making me sing? There was when I was in 6th grade in mandatory choir, they made us sing a song about baked potatoes in front of the whole school, and it was
Yum.
just like, what are we doing here?
Delish.
This video is ridiculously
Yeah, she
bad.
looks really funny.
Like she did so she put her arms out. So like two of these two male dancers come up and like it looks like they're gonna lift her up, and then she gets like 3 inches off the ground, and then that was it. Like that was the move. The move was like, we're gonna go up this far, and that's it. Like not even trying.
Okay,
I would be like, I expect. That's one thing I will say. I will spend that money on bands that I know will put on the good show. And if I see that you're not good, or if I've been to a concert before and I'm like, that was pretty lame, then I have no interest. Because I paid a lot of money for Metallica tickets, but I know they put on a big show. I know that they do their job the right way. And when you're a pop star, that the show is the show. It's not just the music, although the music's a big part of it. There's a reason they all get away with mostly using voice tracks.
Mm-hmm.
Because the dancing's hard it's hard to do both. I totally get that. I never pick on them for that in a concert setting because the show is the point.
Mm-hmm.
Where like a more traditional band, country, rock, whatever, it is more about the music itself.
Yeah, and I guess I'm just not super interested in going to a show that wouldn't be mostly about the music. And
okay. Yeah, I'm the same way. I'm not about the big choreography or anything, but
yeah. So I'm probably the wrong person to be like, I thought what Katy Perry was doing was fine, because it's not for me. I would never go see her, like, no shade, but she's never been my favorite artist.
yeah.
But I'm wondering, do you guys even like seeing a show in a big stadium? I don't. I've only been to a handful of stadium shows, and I would so much rather be at like the pageant or outdoor if it's going to be a huge show. That's a different
Like
situation.
being out at Riverport.
Yeah, or whenever we had Blue Fest or Evolution Festival or something.
I don't know.
like an
The,
arena
the
show.
arenas are great, but it's got to be somebody that fills it up. And I don't mean seats. I mean sound.
Okay.
Like makes the vibe worth it. And you got to be a pretty big sound to do that. Doesn't have to be a rock sound, but you have to be a pretty big performer to take the dome and make that feel like the smaller venue. Because you're right, the smaller venue, when you see somebody in that, somebody big in that setting. I mean, that's one of the great, when you're looking at, like, as an example, there was a few years back, I don't know how many years now, I can't remember, but 4 or 5, when Korn played the pageant.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big band with a big sound, and seeing them in that place is like, oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
But then they can also fill up the bigger stadium, too, with that noise. I like the smaller one in that case, but the big ones are fun when it's somebody that can actually do it. And there just aren't that many that can actually do it.
Yeah, I feel you. All right, that's my little concert segment for Razor's Edge today.
Would you pay all that money to see these guys?
To see
Prime age Led Zeppelin?
Yeah, I would.
What would you pay?
I would pay a lot of money. Like,
I mean, you would need a time machine.
yeah, exactly. If you're bending time and space, so it might get a little expensive.
Setting goals for retirement is one thing, but knowing how to achieve those goals is another.
What are your wishes, hopes, and dreams? What's retirement look like for you? Because everybody, that picture is different.
For tips on building a better nest egg, tune in to the All Financial Hour with host Steve All, Saturday mornings at 10 or Sunday evenings at 6, right here on KMOX. You can also visit yourmoneymattersstl.com for more details.
This is Tom Ackerman. McKelvey Homes, founded in 1898, gives $1,898 back to nonprofits for every home that they sell. 1898. And this time around, it's to Circle of Concern, a food pantry in Valley Park. Most recently, McKelvey Homes gave back to the Foster and Adoptive Care Coalition for the 28 homes that they sold in the first quarter of the year. McKelvey Homes, McKelveyHomes.com.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KMOX and Top Golf.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been injured in a car accident, call America's largest injury law firm. For over 35 years, my mission has been to deliver more for our clients, to deliver more for you. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or ConsumerCellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for autopay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
Hey, St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board-certified master arborist and owner at Timberline Professional Tree Care. As a local small business owner for the past 24 years, I always do my best to shop local and support our community. Recently, 2 of the largest tree contractors in the region have sold to out-of-town investment groups. This means that the new owners of these companies are not invested in quality, customer satisfaction, or safety, except for how it affects their bottom line. Timberline Professional Tree Care was founded in 2001 and is focused solely on giving you, the customer, the safest, highest quality product while providing the best customer service before, during, and after the job. I've poured my heart and soul into tree care for the past 24 years, and we aren't going anywhere. When it comes time to take care of your trees, I ask that you shop local and call me, Ben Barnett, at Timberline Professional Tree Care, 636-479-7475, or online at stltreecare.com.
All right, so we're just talking about concerts, right? Filling up stadiums and you know, having the vibe that people are paying for. I just wanted to ask you guys this because I watched the NFL draft last night. I always do. I'm a nerd. And 125,000 people showed up in Green Bay and were out in the outside, just in that area, watching an older guy read dudes' names. With some, they had some graphics on the video board behind and some little highlights of the players. But basically, you're there to hear the commissioner read names of college players that are now going to, and 125,000 people. It looked like Woodstock. It was insane. And I love football. I love sports. I would never go to that. I would never be there for that. I thought for a great game, I would go, but I would never be in that just to hear names called from a draft. But how does that hit you guys? That 125,000 people will gather and party like it's 1999 just to hear names called over a microphone.
I think it's kind of nice.
You think it's funny?
Yeah, I think it's cool. I mean, it feels like, speaking as a huge outsider here, but it kind of just feels like an excuse to hang out.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's a downtime in the year if you're a football fan. There's not a lot going on. It is a lot of fun because it brings hope. Like I'm a fan of the event. I love it, but it's amazing the hold that sports has on people. Right? That was kind of my bigger picture takeaway from it is like I'm watching this and it's every year now because they're moving it around. It was Detroit last year, it was Chicago, and every one of these places it's the same thing. It's 150,000 people all gathered to party, have fun, and listen to names being read. It's not even a sporting event, although it's kind of turned into one. But that's the hold that sports have on people. What else has that?
Yeah.
Like, would you gather, would any fan base of any musician gather in numbers like 125,000 people in anticipation of a record being dropped?
Yes. That's happened many times.
Sat outside 125,000 people in Central Park in New York waiting for someone to drop a record?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
when?
Taylor Swift just went to a friend's wedding and they had to end the wedding because there were thousands of people converging on that location trying to crash.
There's no planned event party that people are buying tickets to.
Sure, Kanye had one couple at least.
He had 125,000 people.
Three. I mean, he had a whole stadium full of people.
Did he play?
He played the album.
Okay, so he played. It's a performance. Nobody's playing for this. It's literally just going out there and saying, guys, the album's out.
Oh,
that's what it would be the equivalent. It would be like, that's it. Have fun.
Did you guys see the video from the draft last night of, I'm sorry, I don't know anybody's name, but this guy's name was called, and then his wife, his girlfriend, I wasn't exactly sure what was happening, was holding their baby and clapping, and the baby was getting all jostled. Have you seen this video?
No.
Oh my gosh, I'll have to figure out the
That's you know what? That's what you watch the draft for. You watch the draft for watching the people's situations when they get drafted. Or in some cases, did you see Deion Sanders' kid?
Yeah, Shedeur Sanders did get picked in the first round.
Draft, and he had this insane
big party.
He had this insane custom built room set up that was all for his like brand that he's trying to get off the ground, and it was all like
it's like S2, right? Because he's
S2. It's called Legendary.
Like
yeah. And so it's like he had all this ready to go, and then he did not get drafted last night in the first round.
Yeah, he'll go early today, I would think, in the second round. I that's part of the reason why I love all drafts is you're seeing like someone's dream being fulfilled to that point. It's really awesome. But we don't get that motivated to do anything for issues that are important.
That's a good point.
We will do it for we'll go there to hear names being read. We'll go to a concert and spend $500 on a ticket or $1,000 on a ticket. But for anything important, we're like, I'll watch it on TV.
I found the player. It's Kelvin Banks Jr.
Oh, yeah. He's good.
His infant son was jostled too much and he spit up on camera.
Oh, that kid's like, stop shaking me.
It's a tiny little guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I always wonder, like, I have had a baby. I didn't have the baby. I've cared for a baby. That would be news, wouldn't it? Breaking news. Wheeler had a baby. I have cared for a baby. I have carried babies in public and, in settings like that. Man, how are you not aware that there's a baby in your arms and it's okay? You know what? You got a baby. You don't need to clap. I think
she was excited.
You can just smile. But like you knew he was going to be picked. Like,
yeah,
he's going to be picked. He's going to be I don't know. And I'm mostly teasing, but be careful with the babies.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join me and Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the next Business of Family Business when we chat with Mark Trudeau of Blue Haven Pools.
I don't know if you'll get a free pool out of it, but I think there's a chance. Mark was a very interesting guest, so I'm looking forward to hearing this.
So many aspects of the pool building business that we didn't know, so join us when Mark Trudeau of Blue Haven Pools is our guest on the Business of Family Business, Saturday at 5 here on KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
I put money into real estate, and from there came one of my largest returns on one of our properties, which is about close to 300% return in about 14 months.
That's Joe Cantu on what Lifestyles Unlimited has done for him. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful investors and learn proven strategies that work. Save $100 when you text EXPO to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for Dvorak's Cello Concerto, Radiant Warmth. Conductor Ruth Reinhardt makes her SLSO debut with an evening that opens with Grażyna Bacevich's soulful concerto for string orchestra and Paul Hindemith's defiant Matis der Maler. Then, rising star Andrei Ionissa performs Dvorak's unforgettable cello concerto. April 26th and 27th at Stiefel Theater. Tickets at slso.org.
At University of Maryland Global Campus, we give our students credit where credit is due. Credit for deciding in the middle of rush hour traffic to go back and get their bachelor's and a promotion. Credit for managing 3 kids, 2 dogs, and a full-time job to pursue an MBA. And credit for serving in the military by day so they can study cybersecurity at night. For over 75 years, we've been helping students receive the credit they deserve. With more than 135 degrees and certificates, students at UMGC can use prior learning or relevant experience to earn up to 90 credits toward a bachelor's, and graduate students can transfer up to 12 credits toward their master's. At UMGC, you'll find everything from online to hybrid courses and lifetime career services to scholarship opportunities, making your education journey flexible, fast, and affordable. Apply now and save with no application fee. Classes start May 14th. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more.
Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA, so we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The trusted voice of St. Louis. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Sunshine and 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. The city of St. Louis will have to find a new health director.
Dr. Monty Davis announced her resignation in a press release, saying she will be staying on through the transition to her replacement. President of the Board of Aldermen, Megan Green, says her impact was felt beyond navigating the city out of the pandemic.
You know, what she was doing as health director to step in and kind of change the way that healthcare was being provided for in our jails, and things got a lot better under her tenure when she stepped in.
Green also recalls how effective a communicator she was with the public, saying it will be difficult to replace her. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
St. Louis area Congresswoman Ann Wagner is headed to the Vatican this afternoon as part of a 10-member bipartisan House delegation invited to attend tomorrow's funeral for Pope Francis.
Congresswoman Wagner says she is humbled and honored to represent Missouri at the funeral. It was exactly 1 year ago that she and her husband met with the Pope at the Vatican. The Congresswoman says Pope Francis has left a legacy of service and selflessness that will echo through future generations. She says she'll be mourning at the funeral with those humbled by his faith and devotion to what she calls the greater glory of God. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
A new measure in Illinois would prohibit schools from using Native American mascots. It's passed the House and is now headed to the state Senate. There'll be a rally Sunday at 2 at Collinsville High School to push to stop the bill and allow schools to make decisions at a local level. Superintendent Dr. Brad Skirtish.
If you look at when 1926, when this mascot was chosen, and the K-Hawk mascot as it appears, was for the athleticism, the integrity, and the pride they had in their people.
Skirtich estimates a mascot change could cost the district $750,000 for the gym floor and scoreboards alone, add uniforms and other things, and he says they're pushing $1 million. The swampy backlands of a historic tourist town in Jefferson County are being turned into a destination. Stuart McMillan was at the port of Kimmswick.
I'm talking to officials here who tell me from the Port Authority and the Parks Department in Jefferson County that they had about 50,000 cars come through in the last 10 months here just to go to this port of Kimmswick, and that they expect that number to increase with the additional attractions they're going to have here. They have the playground built, they have the bathrooms built, and even a pavilion, all of this flood proof, because you know Kimmswick prone to flood. Remember 1993.
Plans for the future include a $1 million amphitheater that could hold 1,200 people, a walking path, and possibly a bike path along the Mississippi. The KMOX Business Desk, President Trump pushing the Federal Reserve to lower interest rates. The Fed usually reduces the rate during economic downturns to encourage more borrowing and spending, and raises the rate to cool the economy and fight inflation. CBS's Jill Schlesinger says everybody in the country is impacted by the Fed.
The way the Fed moves interest rates impacts you. And if you're a saver, you're lucky enough to be a saver, you worry about the Fed moving interest rates because you want those interest rates to be higher. In essence, the Federal Reserve has become the most important player in the economy for all Americans.
The Dow from Stifel's up just 16 points to 40,109.
Our latest weather maker is not very strong, but we'll see some showers around this afternoon. Any thunderstorms that pop up would be non-severe, and this is not a situation that will be raining all the time. 78 for the high, but it's around. Tonight, any showers fade quickly this evening, mainly a dry overnight, 55. Last weekend of April looks pretty good. Saturday, partly sunny. It's nice. It's cooler. 69 degrees, partly cloudy Saturday night, 49, and Sunday, partly to mostly sunny, 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've got some clouds, some sun, 75 in St. Peter's, 74 Florissant, 74 downtown at the Arch. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
Weather sponsored by Renner Garage Door, forward and back, RENNER.
Hey, it's the Cardinal Cowboy. The beginning of a new season is a perfect time for a tune-up from my friends at Renner Garage Door. Need a new door? Get a free replacement quote today. RennerDoorSTL.com. Forward and back. Giddy up!
RENNER.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
All right, 2:05 on DGS. Dave out for the day, just taking the long weekend, back on Monday. The rest of us here. Sue Thomas is here as well.
Hi.
Happy Sue it too.
Thank you. To you too.
Anything go? That rhymed.
Happy Sue
Happy
to
Thank
you as
too,
well, my
too.
friend.
Lots of twos in there. What's going on this weekend? Anything cool?
This weekend, I don't think so. I think it's a work around the house weekend.
I hate those.
Well, they're not great, but you have to do it. Like I looked around,
Or you
and
can
well,
not.
except then it comes to bite you, Kevin.
No, that's true. That's true.
I have found that I've got somebody coming, like Handyman Steve is coming on Monday to paint the floor of the basement. So that way I will have to get everything off and clean it up so that
Yeah.
he can do that. And if I don't have deadlines like that,
I get you. I'm not big on the deadlines. Usually it's like, well, I guess since the bushes out front are overgrowing the windows, I should probably go do that. and take care of it. I'm going to wait until I have to do it as opposed to like just doing it the way you're supposed to.
Oh, I have to tell you guys this. Okay. I ordered some shampoo. Rachel, are you aware of Prose, Prose?
Yeah.
Okay. It's this nice online shampoo place where you can go and order stuff like you like it. And it's kind of expensive, so I only do it like once a year and then mix it in with my other shampoo. You understand.
It's
and you
like
can
customized.
Yeah,
for
it's
you.
like and it'll even say for Rachel on the
Yeah,
bottle.
that's cool.
So I sent off for that, and it arrived in the mail, and I was like, this is great. But when I
Nice.
picked up the box, it felt way too light.
Uh-oh.
And I thought, well, that's weird. But the tape that with the name on it, Prose, was still intact. It hadn't been cut or anything. But I opened it up, and instead of my shampoo and conditioner, there's someone else's mail in there.
What?
Wow.
It's like somebody had stolen it
And replaced
put
it?
this stuff in there to weight it down so that the delivery person would think there was something in it. Now, and it wasn't just mail.
Huh.
It was like a kind of like a square plastic thing holding a tape of a book for a blind person. And it
Huh.
has this person's address, name and address in my same zip code.
Yeah, I was going to ask if it was a local address.
That
That's
would be
weird.
probably something at the distribution level, right?
Yeah, it has to be,
a
right? 'Cause
switch
where
out made.
else?
They must have thought maybe you were getting some kind of if I had to guess, probably some sort of like a valuable collectible or something that they thought was a similar weight box of
Yep.
Pokemon cards or something, some sort like that.
Box of Pokemon
Yeah,
cards. You go
well.
right to that?
And
Are
the-
they similar weight to that?
The
They
bottom,
would be about that same size,
okay.
and
Yeah,
then
that's
also
true. Oh, that's true.
that's the sort of thing that people do these sort of scams for. They at the distributor level, they rip open the box, just take whatever's inside, and then replace it with whatever other
Something
garbage
else.
sitting
Well,
around
the
to
fact
try and
that
cover
they-
the tracks.
So they were gonna rip off
you
me
got ripped off is what
and
happened.
the other guy.
Yeah, because they're not getting their mail.
I drove the tape over to him. He was happy to have it, but the bottom of the box wasn't. It had it was perforated. It almost so that you could make point it upward and take a tent. You make a tent out of it. It wasn't flat, so somebody probably just hit that and pulled the stuff out so that they could leave the tape intact. And here's the thing: when you go to complain, there's an 800 number for the post office.
Right.
It's just an endless wheel of press 1, and there's no button that says if your package was broken into, then press this. So I don't know how you're ever supposed to report it so they can find out what the heck is going on.
Do they go, please try our website?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Does
Please
the
try our
website even work?
website. Oh, my gosh.
I can't count how many times you get caught in that loop where it's like, go to the website and do it here. I'm like, it's not working on the website. You're messing with me.
And we were thinking, where would that happen? And Andrew, you might be right. It might be at the distribution level.
That would be my best
Wouldn't
guess.
you think that they'd have cameras there?
You would
hope
think.
so.
And then
maybe not checked camera, like the cameras, but maybe not somebody that's like diligently watching them, right? Or
it must be.
or reviewing the footage or whatever. It's just cameras to have in case somebody gets through with a complaint. But as you've established, that's very hard to do.
And I was also at the bank today. I had a credit card sent to me, which of course never showed up. So I had to go and talk about that. And the guy at Commerce was like, the mail is nuts now.
Yeah.
There's just no, and nobody feels like they have any recourse, or what do you do? But so then our current credit card has to be down until this one is delivered and sent 7 to 10 business days if it shows up. But again, I just would like to report it to someone, so that they could figure it out. Well,
and if somebody did that to you, they're clearly doing it not just to you.
Right?
Yeah.
They are clearly doing this to other people.
And I saw on my fake Ring doorbell that it was just delivered. Because if somebody brought this up, well, why would they do that instead of, steal it? And I said, if they wanted to steal it, they do it. They think they're getting away with something. They wanted it to have weight so that it would be delivered. But I don't know why. You know what I mean? Just steal it if you're going to steal it. So that's why I think it's an inside job.
I think you're correct.
And who else would have access? There's no way they went to this guy's house, stole his mail, and then put it in my package.
Yeah. Yeah.
So when you think about it, it's just kind of nuts to try. I like to get to the bottom of it and prevent it from happening to someone else.
I mean, I was always told that you mess with the mail, it's a federal crime.
It is. But nobody ever, today, it's like chaos and no one cares.
So I just Googled United States Postal Service just to see what's going on.
Yes,
with this organization, because you hear all the time like the mail is late, they're backed up. We had this huge snowstorm in January. I don't know about you, Sue, but as a city resident, I didn't get mail for like 2 weeks. It was crazy.
Oh, because of the storms. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Apparently, a couple of years ago, they launched an effort called Project Safe Delivery. And they've reported a 27% decrease in letter carrier robberies since then.
Really? I wonder.
That's what they're saying, but it's like.
Well, letter carriers, though, that doesn't mean it's not happening before that.
And does that mean a robbery of a letter carrier or robberies by letter carriers? I'm thinking people were attacking the mailman. That's how that sounds like it's worded, but I don't know. But I was talking about this on the air. And somebody called in and said, you know what? I used to work for, and he said, this is the 1980s. In the 80s, UPS had a delivery area where if you had shipped your package and something happened to the box, they would kindly rebox it for you and send it off. But people started reporting in a certain area that they weren't getting their packages. Turns out whatever, evilness was happening in that particular area, those people were keeping it. TVs, he said $1 million worth of stuff, but they were able to track them down because people would complain and say, I'm not getting my stuff. So the powers that be could figure it out. So that's why when I heard that, I thought, I would like to at least be able to tell somebody so maybe they can figure it out.
Give them a data point.
Yeah, but it's 1-877, dial this, dial that. You can't possibly get through.
What about in person?
I don't know.
Were you there, or was this like just showed up at your house?
Oh, no, it was delivered to my house.
Okay,
I watched them
okay.
deliver it on the fake Ring camera.
Yeah, I don't know if it would be any better in person because you're probably just going to get a bunch of attitude there because
I'm just here at
there's
the front
difficulty.
desk.
I wonder if they have a form.
There was one online.
But then you got to go to the post office though.
Yeah.
Which totally sucks. That should not ever happen. Like nobody wants to go there or the DMV. Just no.
I don't mind doing that. And people have been nice when stuff is misdelivered. I had a guy a couple streets over with my same street address with the same number.
All right.
Bring the mail. Well, that's really nice. And I understand that happens.
Sure.
But this is outright theft and screwing it with the mail for two people.
That was a heist.
It was a heist of shampoo. That's what you're going to die on.
I mean,
I know.
That's a lot to risk your job over, right?
Shampoo
Like
that's
you open it
formulated
up
for
and you're like,
someone else's hair.
right.
And
You
it's gonna
open
say
that up
for Sue.
and there's shampoo in there and you're like, wouldn't you be like, just close it back up?
Yeah.
Yes.
So stealing mail is a 5-year federal
Yeah,
offense.
yeah.
If caught. And that's for each and every offense. If you do identity theft, there's a 2-year mandatory minimum for each and every count.
Yeah.
And if you rob a postal carrier, it's 20 years federal.
Good.
time.
Dang,
That's
yeah.
ridiculous.
Good for that, man.
A friend of mine in Kirkwood says, just like you, Rachel, she said that her mail just comes. Now it's just like, oh, maybe you'll get it, maybe not. Maybe
Yeah.
4 or 5 days will go by, maybe not. People have also been frustrated by sending in bills. There are people who don't pay online. And even if you do, you will write out a check, but sometimes it's the bank that mails it for you and they don't arrive on time.
So we got a comment from James who says, you always look so classy.
She does.
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah. None of us get that compliment, though. Thanks, James.
Yeah,
It's
thanks a
okay.
lot,
I know.
James.
I know I don't. I'm not trying for it. It's okay.
Let me tell you guys about Michael's Baths. I just had the jingle of one of Michael's competitors in my head, but not a jingle does a company make, or you know what I'm trying to say. So he does the same thing as Bath Fitter and 3-Day Kitchen and Bath and Jacuzzi Bath. They put in a brand new bathroom for you in a couple of days' time. Could be 1 day, might be 3, but it averages out to a couple of days. Now, the beauty of it is that we are local. We are family owned and operated. Not every local business is good, right? There's some local people are just not good at what they do. But I think you'd agree with me that in general, especially being here in St. Louis and all fighting for each other, that it's nice when you can keep your dollars local. By going to Mike, you're going to be supporting about 20 different local families. He's really, really good at it. He's a really good guy. If anything goes sideways, he's going to call it against himself and make sure that you are happy, especially if you're from the DGS. If you're a disabled veteran, thank you for your service. You can get a brand new bathroom remodel for free through a VA benefit. Mike does them all the time. 636-775-0800 or michaelsbaths.com.
You know your customers. Ralph likes his coffee black on Fridays, but Mondays he takes a little cream. Jennifer comes in every 3 years when her lease is up to get the newer and better model. And for some reason, pepperoni pizza sells like crazy on Friday nights. Who knew? At Odyssey, we have the expertise to get your media plan done right. With ads like you're hearing right now, to targeted social media campaigns, search engine optimization, and location-based advertising. Advertise with Odyssey and help us grow your business. Visit ads.odyssey.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it, but not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan from McKelvey Homes. Since 1898, we've been building homes of legendary quality with personal service for families in St. Louis for over 127 years. And to mark this special occasion, we are celebrating with our anniversary gift of $18,980 in options on all homes in all communities across St. Louis and St. Charles counties. When you're ready to move up to McKelvey, visit McKelveyhomes.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. I see clearly now thanks to the doctors, Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. You can too. YourEyeDoc.com.
The Dave Glover Show, weekdays at 1 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, DGS on a Friday. Dave taking the long weekend. Sue Thomas with us for this hour. Sue at 2 at Fridays. I think fast food news is in order, wouldn't you say?
Yes, let me grab
We're
it.
just talking food during the break. Planning foods for trivia night tonight. So, it's always a good eating night.
I've never been to a trivia, Kevin, that didn't have plenty of food.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
I'm plenty of food is like relative, though.
Just because of you personally?
Yes. I like to eat, and that's right in my dinner time. So I'm like, let's go. I got to eat. I'm not there for snacking. I'm there for eating and answering questions, but I'm only good at the sports ones.
Got some good fast food news stories this week. Let's start with Burger King. They're introducing a new Nerds candy flavored frozen beverage.
Oh?
It's frozen strawberry and Nerds candy drink. It's a strawberry flavored slushy drink topped with a layer of crunchy, tangy Nerds candy.
Well, that sounds gross to me, but I'm not a Nerds person.
I love Nerds,
I don't want
but
stuff on top of my drink.
Yeah, see, I love Nerds, but I don't know if I love them that way.
They just melt and get disgusting.
Yeah, no, they melt and add more sugar to the
Nerds,
drink. Yeah,
I like you, but I don't know if I like you like that.
I'm with Kevin for once.
All right, I know Kevin likes Arby's.
Yeah, America's roast beef, yes, sir.
Arby's is debuting a new 1/4 pound pulled pork and brisket barbecue sandwiches.
Both?
Yes. Pulled pork and then separately a barbecue.
Oh, I was kind of hoping they were
Sorry.
together. That'd be great.
And they're teaming up with Cedric the Entertainer and Anthony Anderson to
Wow.
launch these sandwiches
All right.
because I guess they have different barbecue sauces. Cedric the Entertainer has the sweet bussin' brown sugar sauce.
Oh, yeah.
Nope.
And Anthony Anderson has the spicy chipotle smoke sauce.
All right. I'm down. I love barbecue sauces with brown sugar.
Do you?
Me too. Oh my goodness.
See, I don't want any sauce. I want to add my own if I want it, and I don't.
Well, yeah, I like it on the side because I like to put
Yes.
them because sometimes I want it all. I want all of the sauce, and sometimes I just want a little bit.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You're a man of many moods.
Yeah, it just depends. Depends on whether I'm eating with a fork or with my hands.
That's true.
If I'm eating with my hands, I want a little bit less sauce. I don't want to wear it.
Additionally, both sandwiches can be enjoyed with 2 brand new sauces. Okay, we already went over that. The sauces look exciting. The 4th pound pulled pork sandwich is pulled pork smoked for 6 hours over hickory wood.
Wow.
And the brisket sandwich features a 13-hour slow smoked brisket. Now, where is Arby's getting this done? They're obviously not smoking the meats at the restaurant.
That's a solid question. Andrew?
I'm guessing they are smoked, then frozen, then shipped, and then they.
That's probably a
We're
good
just
bet.
letting Andrew speculate on
He
what
does-
he does
Yeah.
could happen.
I mean, I'm sure it's done at some like central location
Yeah.
and then brought to the place, whether it's frozen or maybe it's like vacuum sealed or
That
whatever.
could be.
Yeah,
2 words, Lion's Choice.
yeah
gonna
no,
say.
no. Lion's Choice is superior to Arby's for sure.
Down on Chippewa here in the city, they have a Lion's Choice and an Arby's right next to each other.
Really?
I
Yeah,
always
they
feel
do.
bad for that Arby's because I'm like, man,
Yeah.
first of all, this is St. Louis. Most people are going to be going for Lion's Choice.
Unless
in
you
the
don't
first
want
place.
roast beef though, because you go
You're
to Arby's,
right.
they have chicken tenders that are pretty good. They have
Okay.
chicken sandwiches.
Yeah, they have a good chicken sandwich. I haven't
They have
had one
great
in
curly fries.
decades, but yeah.
Yeah. So but if you're just going for a roast beef sandwich, you're definitely going.
Rachel, you're right. I think that every time I'm down there, and I also think, but they've been here forever.
I know.
So something's working.
It's those mozzarella sticks that get me coming back to Arby's every
Yeah,
time.
those are
I get-
good. Yeah.
Those are real good.
Those are good as a substitute for fries.
Yes.
Like just get that on the side instead of fries.
Oh, which by the way, since we're talking about fries and mozzarella sticks, Burger King has a deal right now. I keep seeing a commercial for it where you can swap your fries in a combo for free. So if you don't want regular fries, you can get like the mozzarella fries.
All right.
Or
Oh.
I think they have a churro fry, which is really good. So just something to keep in mind. It's nice that they don't upcharge you for those things.
A churro fry.
Yeah.
Intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
All right, KFC is offering 2 sides and 2 drinks for just $7 when you order through the brand's mobile app or website at participating locations. Pretty good deal.
Yeah.
And speaking of good deals, Denny's is launching a buy one slam, get one for $1, buy one, get one deal. You can get either the All-American Slam, which is 3 scrambled eggs with melted cheese, paired with Applewood smoked bacon strips, sausage links, hash browns, and your choice of bread, or the original Grand Slam, which is 2 pancakes paired with eggs, bacon, and sausage. Buy one, get one for $1.
That's
that
a good
ain't bad.
deal.
Love a Grand Slam, man.
I haven't been to Denny's in a very long time.
It has been a bit. Yeah. I'm right near an IHOP though, so if I like, there's not,
Mm.
the choice is pretty easy because it's like 4 minutes away.
Wow, I haven't been to IHOP in a long time either.
Oh, that's so good.
Little Caesars has unveiled a new Mountain Dew flavor, Mango Rush. It's a tropical flavored beverage that features the signature citrus taste of Mountain Dew combined with a bold punch of mango flavor. It's going to be offered in a collectible 16-ounce co-branded can featuring a design unique to its release at Little Caesars. Andrew and I were talking about this earlier today. It comes out on May 5th. Will you be enjoying this when it drops, Andrew?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've been sniffing around trying to see if, because some of them are selling it early.
Oh, nice.
Oh, that's hilarious.
My insiders have been dropping, so I've been sniffing around the occasional Little Caesars trying to see if maybe I can get it a little early. No such luck. Stop doing that. No such luck as of yet. Have not been able to secure it.
Mango ruins everything.
No, I disagree.
Mango's delicious. One of my favorite flavors.
Ruins everything.
No,
Mango is
it's
great.
good. I think
That's okay. I'm fine with being wrong. Lord knows I'm wrong all the time.
White Castle is introducing new Cheddar Blast chicken rings and 2 new dirty drinks. I don't know about you guys, but Cheddar Blasted chicken rings does not sound appetizing to me.
No. I mean, it's all things I like.
I'll try them. What do you guys think about the dirty soda fad?
What is that?
What do they put in it? Mixed with sweet cream creamer.
No.
Correct. It's big in some places. It's big in down south, and I think Utah is most famous for it.
It's really big in Milwaukee on Laverne and Shirley.
Laverne and Shirley also, apparently.
I like a couple of sips, but I don't want a whole thing.
I've never tried it.
Taco Bell does like a dirty Baja Blast. You can get it with the cream, and I've had a couple of sips of it. I'm like, all right, I'm good. I don't want to finish the whole thing because it's just very sugary and heavy.
Is it rich?
Sounds, yes. It sounds
like
rich.
Fizzy cream does not sound that great to me.
Too much. Yeah.
Pass.
Let's see. My final fast food news story is out of Culver's. They've introduced a new Skittles popped concrete mixer and a Skittles popped lemon ice cooler. So, Skittles Popped is basically a light, crispy take on the classic fruit candy Skittles, blended into the chain's signature concrete mixers, mixed with creamy, fresh frozen custard, or swirled into frozen lemon ice coolers for an extra burst of fruit flavor.
I'm not sure that Skittles and milk. I don't know. Anyone?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's the pop sounds like it's like almost like fruit cereal.
Oh, well, that's a good point.
Which
Skittles are, I don't know.
I love Skittles, but
I think I'd rather just not put them in a shake.
Plus, I don't know if you guys ever had cold Skittles?
Yes.
Not a good idea.
Yeah, they're a little hard on the teeth.
Not a good idea. They get pretty they turn into stones. Like chewing on flavored stones.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, they're good, but you got to let them thaw out for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with Sue. I don't want Skittles and milk together. I don't want it in ice cream. But with the lemon ice freezer, again,
now,
I would take a couple of sips.
That's a little different thing.
Might be a little sugary for me, but a couple of sips would be just fine.
Yeah. You notice almost all these dessert things, like how could we get more sugar in there?
Yeah, it's just, ugh.
Yeah.
It's too much, Kevin.
But also sometimes it's great.
Oh, boy.
Alton's got soul. From river legends and limestone bluffs to downtown diners and haunted histories. And now, Alton's voice is louder than ever.
What a treasure it is to have like an actual like river resort town that close to us.
KMOX is now on 104.1 FM. From the riverfront to the rooftops, you're always in range. 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of Alton, the voice of St. Louis.
Tell you guys about my friends over at First Missouri Credit Union. Everything at First Missouri is better than everything at a bank. Okay. Now, maybe I'm being a hypocrite because I have money in a bank I've been with for 30 years since I was a lawyer. No plans on, quitting there or moving it around. But I did open 2 accounts at First Missouri. And I have to tell you that the way they treat me is far superior to the bank. Just the friendliness, the access, the yes, Mr. Glover, come right in. Please have a seat. Let's get this estate account set up for your mom. When you borrow money, they charge you less interest. When you invest, like putting money into a checking account or a savings account, they pay you more. We pay 4.27% on your checking up to $100,000. So we're better, we're nicer, and we pay better interest rates on both ends. Call the number 1-314-544-5050 or the number 1 stmocu.org.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040.
We take you now to Dave Murray's weather, sponsored by the Penn Mutual Life Insurance Company, pennmutual.com/STL.
We will see a few showers around from time to time, and if a thunderstorm gets going, it's non-severe, not raining all the time. 78 for the high, so it stays quite mild. Then tonight, any showers fade quickly this evening. 55 the weekend, Saturday, partly sunny. It's a nice day, though. It's a cooler day, 69 degrees. All is quiet Saturday night. Sunday, partly to mostly sunny and 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
Are you considering life insurance? Penn Mutual's accelerated client experience makes applying for life insurance fast and easy. Ask your independent advisor or go to pennmutual.com/STL.
Tired of battling pests in your home and yard? At Rottler Pest Solutions, we are your trusted partner for year-round pest protection. From termites and mosquitoes to moles and brown recluse spiders, we provide proven solutions to keep your home and family protected. With flexible scheduling, 24/7 support, and warranted protection for qualifying properties, we are always here when you need us. Visit Rottler.com today to schedule your free inspection. Rottler Pest Solutions. We know St. Louis pests because we know St. Louis best.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Selling your home, it's one of the biggest financial decisions you'll ever make. You could go it alone, trying to navigate market trends, determine fair pricing, and tackle tricky negotiations on your own. You could second guess every decision, wondering if you're doing it right. Then there's the showings, the offers, and the mountain of paperwork. Or you could work with the expertise of a realtor, here to guide and help protect as you make your next big move. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. Right by you.
Cards manager Ollie Marble joins the Gas House Gang every Tuesday at noon. Sponsored by Siteman Cancer Center on the voice of the Cardinals. 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Our segment with Bernie Miklas is sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling, a Daikin comfort dealer.
All right, Friday on DGS. Dave taking the long weekend. He'll be back on Monday. The rest of us are here, along with Sue Thomas, who joins us in the 2 o'clock hour on, I would say, a lot of Fridays, right?
Yeah.
Not every, but most.
Yeah.
As many as you can make work, because I know you love being in here.
I do.
And, of course, 2:30 on Fridays when we have our regular hit with my buddy Bernie Miklas. Bern, how you doing today?
Wheels, good to be with you all, and looking forward to. Do we have the Redbird Rush Hour
We do.
tonight?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we got
All
and because of the 7:15 start, we got the full show, so we can really dig in and get some nerdy stuff going. We'll save the nerdiest stuff for later. You and me and Matt Pauly, we can nerd it out for an hour on the Redbird Rush Hour, which will be, I would say, entirely Cardinals stuff because, Redbird Rush Hour. But I want to start with the Blues here, Bern. A great win last night. Game 4 turns into the pivot game, really. You win that one, and who the heck knows? Obviously, down 3-1, your odds are pretty small, but that was a really great win last night.
I got to tell you, Wheels, and this is no hyperbole. I've been trying to think about this because I don't want to come across as like a hype master, but their performance in the first 10 minutes of that game, I can't recall the last time in a meaningful hockey game where I've seen anything like it. Certainly a postseason game. I mean, if you don't mind me just throwing this out, because, at the end of the night, like the Winnipeg Jets had more hits than the Blues did.
Right.
But there's a lot of empty calorie junk in that stat. No, there really is.
You're right.
Here's why.
You're right.
In the first 5 minutes of that game, the Blues opened a 2-0 lead. They out-hit Winnipeg. They were very physical. They out-hit Winnipeg 13-1.
Wow.
In the first 6 minutes, 35 seconds, they out-hit Winnipeg 17-1. And in the first 10 minutes on the clock of that game, in the first period, they out-hit Winnipeg 26-9. They were like rabid. I mean, I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah.
But, I was joking earlier in a video I did. It's almost if you could take a hockey team and inject every player with adrenaline and give them about 5 cups of espresso. That's what the Blues looked like in the early stages of that game. It was unbelievably dominant.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun to watch. And you're right. A lot of the Winnipeg physicality came, really, a lot of it after the game was already kind of decided.
That's right. 100%.
And a lot of that can be trying to set a tone for the next game. It can be frustration from how the game has gone, but it had no impact on it, where the Blues, I don't know what it is about the Blues, but throughout their history, and really throughout, especially these last 8 to 10 years, when they play like that, when they play that physical game, that's when we're getting the best of the Blues.
And when they do it, they got to do more of it at home. But I think, they got to do more of that on road. If this thing will go back to Winnipeg, and they got to be a little more selective. See, I thought they were very selective last night. I think they were good hits, not just hits to make hits.
Yeah.
And they, there's something about their home ice advantage. It's truly a home ice advantage. Enterprise Center is just, like I like to say, it's filled with lunatics because they're just last night was absolutely crazy. I mean, just great. And there is no question that crowd, those great Blues fans, give that team an extra gear. They really make a difference. They've won 13 in a row at home now.
Mm-hmm. And zooming out, right? Like, this series is a big deal, and Game 4 will tell us a lot about how the rest of the series is going to go.
Mm-hmm.
Not that being down 3-1's automatically done, but you're probably done at that point. But I would be happy to make the case that this team has already had a victory this season from where they were to where they are, and also setting up the vibe for the next couple of years. I don't have the same concerns I had before. You're adding even more new young talent, and guys that were here all year have gotten better as the years goes along. So Bolduc is more of a known commodity. You got Snuggerud in the mix now. I think their short-term future is so much brighter based on these last couple of months of play.
Yeah, and they have the right coach to lead young players and teach young players. I think that's a big deal. Montgomery's an excellent coach. And they got back to their 5-on-5 game last night, which mysteriously was missing in the first 2 games at Winnipeg. And their top 6 forwards, who didn't do much at 5-on-5 in the first 2 games, they were all over the place last night. I'm talking about Buchnevich, Thomas, Kyrou, Shen, Snuggerud, and Jake Neighbors. Last night, those top 6 forwards combined for 4 goals and 7 assists. That's a pretty good night of work.
Yeah, not a bad night, too, when you're missing a really key young player there, too, with Holloway being out.
That's right. That's right. So listen, Winnipeg's going to come out and try to do to the Blues what the Blues did to them.
Oh yeah,
last night. They're going to come out crazy, and they're going to come out hitting everything that moves, and they're going to try to take it to the Blues. But there's some interesting things that happened last night. One of the things is that the Blues have shown they can take hits. They're not going to fall apart if somebody hits them.
Right.
But the thing of it is, they found their 5-on-5 game, which is a big deal. The other thing is they get the last line change. And then Jim Montgomery got the Thomas line away from Winnipeg's best line, and they went to town. And the other thing is that Connor Hellebuck, as great as he is in the regular season, he has been really shaky in the postseason.
Yeah.
The Blues had him on the ropes in the first game of the series, and they let him escape. Last night they just annihilated him. 6 goals and 25 shots, and then when Winnipeg tried to make it a game, they cut it to 3-1. They were playing better. Hellebuck just had that horrible misplay behind his net, and the Blues pounced on it. Then it's 4-1, and the game's definitely over at that point. If you can put some doubt in his head, and if they can do that again Sunday, because I'm convinced that when goaltenders have a hard time, great goaltenders have a really difficult time in the postseason, it gets in their head. So the Blues are going to have to do that in Game 4. Then it's a new series.
All right, let's turn things over to some baseball. The Cardinals and the Brewers start tonight, 7:15 here on KMOX, following the Redbird Rush Hour and the pregame show with Matt Pauley. What are you hoping to see this weekend, Bernie? I mean, obviously, they've been 2 different teams this year. The home team has been pretty good. The road team has been terrible. I'm not sure that the home and the road are the cause, but it certainly is a notable difference. So what do you want to see this weekend against Milwaukee?
Well, Milwaukee seems to have the Cardinals' number, and I'm generalizing there, but there's a couple of things. The Cardinals' starting pitching has been really, really good. I mean, legitimately good. And it's really been good like the last 15, 16 games.
Yeah.
And they have their 3 best starters going this weekend. And the Cardinals, for whatever reason, like you said, it doesn't make a lot of sense. They're a much better team offensively at home than on the road. You'd think it would be opposite, but it's not. So what I'm trying to say is the conditions are favorable for a good weekend series for the Cardinals, but bullpen.
Yeah.
You know, you just never know if that's going to be an issue. You know, this team, the Cardinals have 11 quality starts this year, and that's like tied for second in the majors.
Yeah, that's good.
But they're 4-7 in the quality starts. Why?
Oh.
The offense shuts down, or the bullpen blows up. Like that record should be about 8-3, but it's not. So the offense has got to get its act together, and the bullpen, as long as they can, they got to get Helsley into games earlier if the situation requires it. And listen, Leahy and Maton have been great, but at some point they're going to have to start. They're going to have to start looking for different relievers to help them. You don't call up Matt Swanson and then just what he's out there in the bullpen tending to a garden or something. He's got to pitch, right?
Yes. If you're on especially, I know they're not using 6-man at the moment, but they're planning on going back to it. If you're carrying a 6-man rotation and that means only a 7-man bullpen, then if they're here, you have to pitch. You can't be saved for special situations. And I think that's part of what led to the controversial decision the other day to have Ryan Fernandez in there to lose the game, because you didn't really have another option aside from your closer, and your closer's not going to go 2 innings. I think we've established that. They set new Helsley rules last year and followed them, and it led to a great year. But if you don't have the ability to go to the guys you need because you're wearing them out, you have to use those other guys more often so that you don't wear those guys out, so you can then go to Maton in the 8th inning there rather than choosing a guy in Fernandez who's really struggling. And I really hope, Bernie, we have a move today on the roster. Nothing against Fernandez. He just needs to get fixed. I really like this guy, but he's got to get right.
I feel bad for him. You
Yeah.
know, they're not doing him any favors keeping him up here. And we can talk about this on the Redbird Rush Hour, but see, I have pivoted on the Helsley situation. I think Ollie Marmol he's got to be willing to use him in the 7th or 8th inning if it means saving a game before it gets away. I mean, you can't keep losing games by holding your save artist out, because with this bullpen, the setup relief, there are no guys whatsoever that there will even be a save situation. Can I just throw one more thing in on that?
Yeah.
All of this inactivity is actually hurting Leslie's quality of pitching. I did a video on it yesterday at the Sports Hub STL. Now, this is just not smart baseball. It's not. Helsley went through a stretch where he pitched today. He went 5 days without pitching. He made one appearance, then another 5 days without pitching. And what's happened is his walk rate has soared. His strikeout rate has gone down. They are doing him a disservice by not at least keeping him sharp. And, I'm tired of this baseball thing. You can only use the closer in the ninth inning. Why? Why? There's spots for a guy in the seventh or eighth inning.
Yeah. Well, and it's fine when you're like last year and you have the quality guys to get you there, but it's a lot more difficult when you don't. By the way, I just know, I didn't see this a bit ago, but I just saw that Katie Wu tweeted a little bit ago that Riley O'Brien is coming up, but we don't have the corresponding move. I would guess it involves Ryan Fernandez.
It's got to, right?
Yeah, I mean, you got to get him right because I think he's good, and I think he can be a really useful, good reliever moving forward. But he's just lost, and his slider's broken. He can't locate it. It's not the same shape as it was last year, and that was his best pitch. And when your best pitch is not getting outs, it's really tough. So hopefully he can get fixed and then get himself back. All right, Brandon, we got a lot more to do on the Redbird Rush Hour, so we'll save the rest of the baseball for that. Can you tell us a bit about Saliga before we head out?
Be happy to do it. They were visiting the Miklas home yesterday because we're in that maintenance program at Saliga Heating and Cooling. It's called the Priority Club, and we've been members of that for a long time. And it saves us money because it extends the life of our equipment. 2 maintenance checks a year will do that, and you also know everything's working great and everything. It means you're safe, and there's not going to be no surprises. And I'm going to give you a example of what I'm talking about. So yesterday when they came to check out our air conditioning system and everything else, they detected a minor issue. It wasn't a major issue. It wasn't an expensive issue, but they caught it early, and then they were able to just adjust it, fix it, tweak it, and put the issue to rest. And because of that, they took something that down the road could have been a really expensive repair job, and it became nothing. It was just a minor thing. See, and that's the benefit of preventive maintenance. So I love the Saliga Heating and Cooling. They have been doing this for St. Louis since the same family since 1927. They can do anything you need as far as heating and cooling, and they have some other services too. But take a look at that Priority Club maintenance program, because what I told you shows you exactly how this benefits you. So you can find out more about everything about Saliga and the Priority Club by going to SaligaHeatingandCooling.com, SaligaHeatingandCooling.com. Thank you.
So if you guys already enjoy sports, which most of you do, and you probably have your sport, for me, it's the MLB. I am into the Blues, but I don't know nearly as much about hockey as I do baseball, and I'm no expert. But I know enough, especially about my team, the Cardinals, that I'm able to make an intelligent decision about whether I think a statistic for a player is going to be higher or lower. I can look at Underdog fantasy app and say, oh, they think Nolan Arenado is going to get 1.5 bases. I think he's going to get more. I'm going higher. I think he's going to get less. I'm going lower. And that's all you have to do. It could not be simpler. To download the app is simple. To get an extra up to $1,000 is simple when you use promo code Glover. If you're an NBA person, you can really stack it up because you get this thing called an extender. Game 1, you're going to get 40% boost on whatever pick you make. Game 2, you're going to get 50%. Game 3, 60%. If there's a game 7 that is necessary, you're going to get up to 100%. Very, very cool. So download the Underdog Fantasy app today using promo code Glover. Get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. Must be 18. Must be in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. If you're concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit TCPGambling.org.
The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols and benefiting the Pujols Family Foundation, returns Thursday, May 22nd to Top Golf in Chesterfield. Enjoy dinner and drinks, play golf with a celebrity, and support Albert and the Pujols Family Foundation. Limited days remain. Reserve yours today at PujolsFamilyFoundation.org or go to KingMOX.com/events for more info. The Ultimate Drive, hosted by Albert Pujols, sponsored in part by KingMOX and Top Golf.
Need a lawyer? Onder wins. Call Onder Law at 314-9-MILLION. That's 314-9 all zeros. Or go to onderwins.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt?
Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Rhino Shield is engineered to outlast paint by a lot, backed with our 25-year transferable warranty. Paint a house, shield a home. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, steel, aluminum, cedar, and more. We are the only coating company selected by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where all 3 episodes concentrate on unpainted brick. If you maintain or own a business with a tired-looking building, you owe it to yourself to look at Rhino Shield and our beautifully durable color schemes. Evaluations are free. We're making buildings pop and be noticed again, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks, exceeding expectations every day with our products, people, and performance. Now is the time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or go to 877-25rhino.com and see how honest and transparent we really are. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
All right, question for the group. By the way, DGS Friday, Dave out today, back Monday, just taking a long weekend. Have you guys ever heard of the terror crocodile?
No.
The terror crocodile.
The terror crocodile.
No.
Oh, Andrew's not there. I was wondering if he had learned about it. So I saw this the other day. So they don't exist now.
Oh,
they're not real anymore. But the story was from paleontologists talking about this used to be. This thing was a dinosaur eater.
What?
The terror crocodile was a dinosaur eater.
Good grief.
The size of a school bus. Here, Andrew, I got to ask you a question. We're just talking. I just asked the group, have you heard of the terror crocodile?
No.
You've never heard of this?
No.
All right. So apparently at one point in history, they don't exist anymore, so don't worry about that. This thing it's known as a dinosaur eater. And it was a crocodile or crocodilian. I don't think it's technically a crocodile. I just think it's a relative of a crocodile. The size of a school bus.
Always a bigger fish.
And I love stories like, first of all, I'm happy that there are no school bus sized crocodiles.
Can you imagine?
Have you seen the ones now that are big?
Yeah, they're huge.
Oh my God. There's this guy. I forget what they're in Myrtle Beach. They have an alligator farm thingy.
Yeah.
And they got a big old dude who's like, I don't know how old they are, but he's old as hell. He's like 70 years old. And he's just, I don't even know how big or how much he weighs. He's 2,000 pounds, 3,000. I don't know how big he is.
About the man wrestling.
No. No, this is the old alligator. I think that one's an alligator, not a crocodile. But that just blew me away that there was that existed, and it's just like, all right, well, good luck. Don't go near that guy. The terror crocodile would be. And now we need a movie about that.
It also says it had 100 razor teeth.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The size of bananas. The teeth were the size of bananas.
Yikes.
Yeah, banana teeth.
That is bizarre.
This world is so cool, though. Like, all those things existed. Would you guys ever want to go visit?
No.
Dinosaur times?
Nope.
No, I'd be pretty frightened.
It'd be so great.
What? How would that be great? That would not be great.
Oh my God, it would be so cool. I mean, you gotta have some safety measures in place.
You think
Like
just
like
a
you're
couple?
in a big hamster ball or something.
I was thinking more of
Can't
like
lie
an
on you.
armored truck.
Okay, that's smarter. Yeah,
maybe a tank.
that makes more sense.
Just give me a tank ride through dinosaur times. That would be amazing. I don't want to shoot anything, by the way, unless they're mean to us. Then we got to get rid of them. But if you run across a terror crocodile,
I mean, even if they are mean to us, we're the ones who travel.
no, I know. I'm not.
Brought a tank.
I agree. I would not shoot the dinosaurs unless I had no other choice.
Okay, and then you ruin all of history because it's
I know, right? Like I start the end of the dinosaurs early, and then humans never make it. Right, so now the whole timeline is reset, and the world is run by dolphins.
Yeah, well, none of us will ever be born, so it's all mute.
Yeah.
Oh, it says their eyes moved vertically because they most likely spent their time looking up and down for prey. They were usually submerged in river waters, so they would look up for food and snack them. Oh, that is awful.
I mean, could you imagine being like, you're a big dinosaur and you're kind of a badass, and then all of a sudden this guy just chomp.
Yeah.
Like, you're not worried about anything. You're like, I got it. Now these little dinosaurs, those are just my lunch. And then your lunch for this big guy.
I've never imagined myself as a crocodile. Rachel, have you?
I have imagined myself as a dinosaur.
That's
Yeah. What dinosaur would you be?
Probably a little T-Rex.
A little T-Rex?
Yeah.
Why not one of the big
I
ones?
would be like a big, like intimidating one.
All right.
She's a friendly T-Rex.
Be like the.
Andrew, what dinosaur would you want to be? You gonna be a mean one or a nice one?
Probably a nice one. I'll be like a Triceratops or something.
Oh yeah, see, they're cool because they're also tough.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're plant eaters, but you don't want to mess with them. I might want to be a Stegosaurus.
Yeah, those.
Swing that tail around and smack people.
Good. I gotta look.
No, I probably want to be a Velociraptor. Sneaky, smart, mean,
Doors.
loud. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hi, I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler, and I'd like to introduce our newest associate, Dr. Adam Voss.
Hi, I'm Dr. Adam Voss, the newest addition to the Audiology Center. I'm very excited to join this amazing team. I'm a St. Louis native, graduated from Washington University School of Medicine, and I'm passionate about hearing healthcare and connecting people back to the things that matter to them most: family, friends, music, or even their favorite British TV drama. At the Audiology Center, we care for our patients like our own family. If you ever need anything, come on by or call us and we will make sure to address questions or issues same day. My ultimate goal as your audiologist is to listen to your individual needs and guide you on your journey to improved hearing. There are a lot of audiologists in town, but only one Audiology Center. We might not know how to change a tire, but we know a thing or two about audiology. And I want our current and future patients to know that you can trust us with your hearing healthcare needs.
Thanks, Dr. Voss. The Audiology Center, 3 locations. Come visit us at theaudiologycenterstl.com for more information.
Hi, this is Debbie Monterey. Join me and Kevin Short of Clayton Capital Partners for the next Business of Family Business when we chat with Mark Trudeau of Blue Haven Pools.
I don't know if you'll get a free pool out of it, but I think there's a chance. Mark was a very interesting guest, so I'm looking forward to hearing this.
So many aspects of the pool building business that we didn't know. So join us when Mark Trudeau of Blue Haven Pools is our guest on the Business of Family Business, Saturday at 5 here on KMOX.
Creve Coeur camera may be gone, but we opened another store called the Photo Pros. Same great service, same great people, and today's photography equipment. Lots of new cameras, used equipment, flashes, studio lights, tripods, filter, films, gadgets, and more. We are the Photo Pros out in the Westport area. Every day someone gets a new camera off the internet and comes to see us. It's not the same. You get ripped off. Google Creve Coeur camera or the Photo Pros to find us.
Hey, Green Gobbler here. So you've got a clogged drain in your bathroom. Water in the sink's overstaying its welcome. You're spitting today's toothpaste on top of yesterday's toothpaste. You hope that it go away. Yeah, clogs don't just go away. I make them go away. I'm Green Gobbler, the only clog dissolver you need. I'm bleach-free, safe for your pipes, and I work. Guaranteed or your money back. Because I never met a clog that was going to unclog itself. Green Gobbler. Let the gobbler get it.
I had the worst dream last night. You were in a car crash and the kids and I were on our own. We had to move out of the house because I couldn't afford it anymore.
It's awful, hon.
My brother got life insurance from Ethos and it only took 10 minutes. And he got $2 million in coverage for around $2 a day. It's all online. No medical exam. He just answered a few health questions right from his house.
Ethos, here we come.
Visit ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Sample rate is a 10-year term life policy for 35-year-old healthy, non-smoking male.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house? On the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
Mid-America's most trusted voice for news. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 3 o'clock, these are the stories making news. Dr. Monty Davis, the St. Louis City Health Director, has announced her resignation. Aldermanic President Megan Green says not only will it be hard to replace Dr. Davis's experience, but her people skills.
Calming tensions, bringing folks together. I mean, I'll never forget when she came into one of the Board of Aldermen hearings to talk about jail deaths and talk about, what she was doing as health director.
A spokesperson for Mayor Spencer said they did not ask for Dr. Davis's resignation. At the tail end of last session, the Board of Aldermen saw a RAM settlement compromise bill collapse and the negotiations tabled. When will those negotiations start up again?
Alderwoman Alicia Sonnier penned the bill, which became the compromise. She says the negotiations remain on pause, but when they do resume, she expects them to take a more collaborative and private approach.
I don't imagine you'll see public conversation on it for quite some time because there needs to be some work behind the scenes.
Sonnier says there needs to be a consensus established before public input will be taken. Sean Malone, KMOX News.
Wisconsin Judge Hannah Dugan arrested on obstruction charges for allegedly helping an undocumented defendant avoid arrest by ICE agents. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley.
Now, I don't have all the facts, so I'm not commenting on what the judge did or didn't do. But I will say this, is that I really do wish that the Trump administration would focus less on settling scores with perceived potential enemies and focus their attention more on things that really matter. Focus their attention things on like fixing the economy that is in free fall.
St. Louis area Congresswoman Ann Wagner will attend tomorrow's funeral for Pope Francis at the Vatican.
Congresswoman Wagner is part of a 10-member bipartisan delegation to travel to Rome for the funeral. Wagner says she is humbled and honored to represent Missouri at the funeral. It was exactly 1 year ago that she and her husband met with the Pope at the Vatican. The Congresswoman says Pope Francis has left a legacy of service and selflessness that will echo through future generations. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk.
We like to call it the AI workforce of the future.
That's the senior lead for AI development firm Scale in St. Louis. A summit about the defense tech community is being held here. AJ Siegel tells KMOX.
The majority of our workforce comes from non-traditional tech backgrounds. So baristas, teachers, artists, and veterans. Over half of them are under 30. Most of them are new to AI, and most are new to tech altogether.
Let's get an update of the St. Louis Business Index with Stifel's Scott Link.
Thank you, Michael. Consumer sentiment data continues to show weakness, and a rising expectation of an economic slowdown led markets to a mixed close, with the Dow Jones up 20 points to 40,113. The S&P 500 finished up 40 points to 5,525. And the NASDAQ rose 216 to 17,382. And the Bloomberg St. Louis Index was down 9 to 1,447. For stocks of local interest, the biggest gainers today were Charter Communications, up $38.32 to $373.65, and Bear rose 18 cents to $6.61. And the leading decliners were Centene, down $3.89 to $57.69. AT&T fell 72 cents to $26.81. Finally, Stifel Financial was up 3 cents to 85.77. This has been Scott Blank, Senior Vice President of Investments at Stifel, member SIPC and the New York Stock Exchange. For more information on Stifel, please visit our website at stifel.com.
There's some debris on 270 going north at Olive. That's got the right shoulder closed.
We will see a few showers around from time to time, and if a thunderstorm gets going, it's non-severe, not raining all the time. 78 for the high, so it stays quite mild. Then tonight, any showers fade quickly this evening, 55. The weekend, Saturday, partly sunny. It's a nice day, though. It's a cooler day, 69 degrees. All is quiet Saturday night. Sunday, partly to mostly sunny and 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM. KMOX.
We've got some rain, some thunderstorms downtown at the Arch. It's 75 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan at McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyhomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
All right, 3:05 on DGS. Dave taking the long weekend back on Monday. The rest of us are here. We've got Dave Murray joining us, as always, at 3:30. Some weather and some headlines. George Mahey is going to talk some food with us at 4 o'clock. 5 to 6, we got the Redbird Rush Hour. That'll be me and Bernie and Matt Pauly today. We'll have a minor move to talk about today. They did send Ryan Fernandez down to Memphis today and recalled Riley O'Brien. Not something that anybody's really happy about, but something that had to happen with Ryan Fernandez struggling like he was. And right now we got Alvin Reed in studio. And if you're watching us, you can see Alvin and he can wave at you and you can wave at him. Well, actually, they can't wave back at you. You won't see it.
Well, they can wave back.
They could do it in
Feel
spirit.
Free to wave back.
You can wave back, but people around you at work might be like, "Why is he waving?"
Or give other signals of either acknowledgement.
You can chat with us and tell us to say hi to Alvin. How's it going, Alvin?
Fine. How you guys?
Pretty good. What's new this weekend? What do you got going on?
Oh, let's see. This weekend, not much. Kind of taking it easy. Going next weekend to see my son-in-law graduate.
Oh, nice.
The University of Cincinnati.
All right.
So, and I have not been
to
Bearcat. I have not been to Cincinnati since I was an intern at the Cincinnati Enquirer in summer of 1981. So it'll be interesting.
So you were there during the Icky Shuffle and Boomer Esiason, or was Icky later?
Icky was later.
He was 85, maybe?
Yeah, and Boomer came right as...
so this was the Ken Anderson Bengals.
Right, yes, right at the end. And this is the team that went to the Super Bowl and lost.
Yeah.
All right, and I went to see Fernando Valenzuela pitch against Tom Seaver, NBC Game of the Week on a Saturday. Myself and a friend who also worked at the Cincinnati Enquirer that summer. And 1 week later, baseball went on strike.
I was going to say that's the strike here, yeah.
And did not resume. So I had a summer of no baseball.
That summer was the worst, man.
And the crazy part was the Enquirer had tickets to everything, and the Enquirer building was like a half a block from Riverfront Stadium.
Man.
And that was it.
That was the worst. I was 9 years old that year, and I did not know what to do with myself that whole summer. I was like, they're not playing any games. What's happening? And they eventually started playing old games on the radio.
Yes, I do.
So I was listening to at the time, the 68 World Series.
Yeah.
I was hearing the Cardinals and the Tigers going back and forth. I was every day, I'm like, ooh, what's going to happen? Even though I already know what's going to happen.
Even though you already knew what was going to happen. Right. And I don't have to tell you or the many fans listening right now that the Cardinals were the best team in the National League that year that did get to play in the playoffs.
Yeah, because of the weird split season.
The split season.
So if you added it all together, they were the best record, but they didn't win either half.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they won the World Series the next year.
Yeah, I guess it was an indicator of what was to come. Right?
Yeah. You change one thing, you change all things, but
it's actually I think a fun thing to transition. Obviously, we bring you in to talk about all kinds of things because you've done it. You've talked about and covered things forever on all things. I mean, but we obviously love sports and all that. But I think we were talking earlier about the NFL draft and how you had 125,000 people in person at the draft just to hear somebody call people's names over a microphone.
Yes.
But we can't motivate people to vote. Right? Like things that really matter to you that will impact your day-to-day life. You have no time to go cast a vote for mayor, for your state rep, for your congressional rep, for your senator, for the president of the United States. But we all find time to do a sports thing or to go to a concert or to do whatever.
And this is also what's really telling is God bless Green Bay, but when you're there, it isn't like you're in downtown Detroit like it was a year ago.
No.
Or in downtown Dallas or where the Philly had it, I guess 2 years ago, where you're there, but you're also part of the whole downtown scene.
Right.
This is just a choice to go literally stand out there and do
I mean, they have a cool facility there, right? Like they got a Hall of Fame and a big area to gather.
Yeah.
But like it was funny watching the stuff that's going on around there. But you're like, I don't know. Have you ever been to Green Bay?
I have not.
For a game.
I have not.
I got a chance to go up there a couple times for work. When I worked up in Chicago, they sent me up to be a stringer.
Okay.
So I was just up there to do little phone reports from the Bears-Packers game, and then do some post game, like get some sound and grab a player to be a guest, things like that. And it was so cool, but it's just hilarious. You're just driving. It's the stadium is in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, you just pick a neighborhood in St. Louis, pick a I don't know, Oakville, whatever. Pick a neighborhood, plop a big stadium in the middle of a subdivision, and then like the parking is all like on people's lawns and in their driveways.
Yeah.
And it's just this funny, weird thing.
Weird. RFK was like that.
Was it?
In DC. That was you when you got there. You said like I am literally in a, I guess it would be northeast. They call it, they do DC, northeast, northwest, southeast, by northeast neighborhood, almost to the Maryland border. But yeah, it's just in a neighborhood. That's how like all the old stadiums were.
It's funny, when the whole thing was happening here with the Rams, right? By the whole thing, I mean them trying to move to LA, lying their asses off, doing all that stuff. There's always this call from sports fans to try to set up a system where it's like the Packers, where it's owned by the community. And it is like the people there there are a lot of people there that own shares of the team. Nobody can own more than 2% by the charter of the team. Nobody can own more than 2% of the shares. All of the profits, I was looking into this last night because I'm like, where does the money go? Because I know the shareholders do not get dividends. They do not get a cut. But that money goes to a fund that basically just maintains the stadium, funds payroll if there's ever going to be a shortfall, but there really never is. But they have like an emergency fund in case something goes wrong or revenue sharing changes or whatever.
Right. And no sports league will pretty much ever allow that.
No, they won't. That was always the point. But it would be amazing if every league was like that in every city. How much different would the world of sports look if it was like that?
Because the reason you know that is because they're a public entity.
Yeah.
All of their business transactions are out there.
Yeah.
And no individual owner is ever going to put out.
Oh, no.
I mean, the reason that the NFL settled on the lawsuit was because there was no way that Jerry Jones and Robert Kraft were going to let the world see their books.
They were never going to testify.
And they were never going to testify. Those are the two things.
They
were never getting on the stand, and we were never going to see those books.
No.
And then what was worse, not worse, but the teams that don't make money, if they had to put their books out there, we'd see
all cooking the
they're
books.
cooking, right? Exactly.
Yeah, there's nobody like, and the reason I wanted to bring this up because normally we do talk like political issues, but this is more of a social issue than a political issue, and we're using sports as the jumping off point. So many of the things that we think would help, we know just can't happen because of profit.
Right.
Because we have to make sure that a certain small group of people get what they want all the time, no matter what, regardless of what that means for the rest of us.
Yes. And I think that, you talk about things as populist movements or this kind of movement and all that, but I think that a little bit at a time and the pendulum, swings back and forth, but we're just in one where like, wait a minute, the majority of Americans right now are probably kind of sensing that, wait a minute, some kind of way it's getting added up that I don't count. And I'm not sure I appreciate that. And I'm not really, I'm just saying like we're lost between the people that are speaking the loudest and saying the least.
Yeah.
Where everybody else is just kind of like, hey, how about us? When if you're really, really poor, okay, not really, really, but if you're poor, somebody else is buying your eggs, WIC or whatever.
Sure,
right?
sure,
If
sure.
you're really rich, it doesn't matter
Doesn't
how
matter,
much stuff
yeah.
costs. So who are the high egg prices, actually impacting? Middle class people, the majority of people.
Yeah.
And that just gets overlooked.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating because I didn't study history in college.
Here's my minor.
Yeah, see, I was broadcasting, and then my second major was French because that made it matter. I did that because I had high school credits and I could get through it faster. That's exactly why I chose it. And I like it. Let's be honest, it was fun. But I've spent more time learning history outside of school because it's fascinating. Where when you're 18 to 20, it's kind of boring, or at least it can be seen that way. But the more you look at history, the more you kind of understand, honestly, has it ever been different? Has there ever been a time in the world where the big dogs weren't taking advantage of everyone else, and where the people that were the majority, the middle, weren't carrying the load for everybody?
That has always kind of been like that.
I mean, was it like that in ancient Rome?
Now, what happened was, if there's like petulance and thousands of people are dying, or there is no food,
right?
Then people rise up.
Right. You get a revolution like you got in Russia, like you got in France and England, right. Here, eventually.
Right, exactly.
But that was a different kind of revolution.
It was different.
Because it wasn't a revolution against the people here leading the way. It was because the guy overseas kept taking our money.
Right. And it was like literally, it was taxation without representation.
Right.
Okay. So thus, we have things. I just bought a new car. Okay. Now I can complain about the price. Or,
right.
Yeah, I was trying to beat the tariff.
Right.
Or whatever. But I just bought a new car.
Yep.
So I can whine and complain and say, like, God, America is just crapping on me. And I said, meanwhile, I just bought a new car.
No,
that tames our willingness to really, really kind of rise up.
That's why when people come, they start getting excited and like, it's time. This is it. We're going to have a revolution. No, we're not.
No, we're not.
We're not, because people are comfortable.
Right.
I mean, and I don't mean everybody, but too many for the purpose of radical change.
But
right?
for the purpose of radical change.
For the purpose of any kind of radical change, people have food. They have entertainment. They have jobs, even if they don't love them.
Right.
You have car. You have a smartphone. It's really hard. And that's why I was kind of using the things that motivate us to get out are more the things that entertain us.
Good point.
Than the
Excellent
problems
point.
we need to fix.
Excellent point. Yeah. I think we all can remember when, like I said, all right, we got to make bills. Okay. Now, we still had fun. We still all of that. But our life was a little bit different. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, all, just doing what we needed to do. You're still that same person, even though like you're paying all your bills. You got, like, I'm not saying you got a ton of money, but you got whatever. So there's never really been a time in your life where, my gosh, I really don't know what we're going to eat today. And then if you did, you would budget more. Like we were ever in a place of like, oh my God, we ran out of food and there'll be no more food for the next 6 days, even though we both have a job. Well, then you would budget more. You would do a better job of managing your money. And you could change your behavior to adapt to whatever the problem is, which we did, which is why none of us can look ourselves in the mirror and say like, boy, well, I mean, just in other words, man, I had a hard life. And it's like, well, I had some hard times there,
right.
But I didn't have a hard life.
And the hard lives exist.
And they do.
But it's not at the numbers of those time periods we were talking about.
Yeah. Now, when I was in Arkansas, this is the first time I ever heard somebody say that. Now, first, the two things about Arkansas, I never heard white people talk as bad about white people until I lived in the South. Okay. But one of the things they said, like, people say they're poor. You follow a poor kid home now and they got central air conditioning. And, poor kid, when we were growing up, had no air conditioning, let alone central air conditioning.
Right.
I don't know how you feel inside about that as an individual, but I kind of lean toward, man, when I was in Europe, I saw some poverty.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Shanty towns and all that. We don't really have that here. And as a result, once again, I think that's why people literally don't vote, because I think they take for granted that they will always have.
You think that's it?
I think they, in a way, you say, like, no matter what's going on in Washington,
Not going to change my world.
It's not really going to change my
gotcha.
world that much. I feel as though the protection of history and protection of opportunity and things like that, those are things that are very important to me. But maybe the average American is thinking, like, that really doesn't mean a whole lot to me.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's a different level. I mean, and there are people who are very motivated by certain things that does push them to go vote, but at the same time, the majority don't, right? I mean, what was the percentage that just voted in the mayoral election?
27%.
I mean, that's crazy.
And you know
that's crazy, because that will impact your life more than anybody that's in DC.
Right, and that's 27% of the population of registered voters.
Right.
That's not 27%
Right.
of the entire city.
Right.
So you would think that if you were registered to vote, you would vote. I've never really understood that you took the time, some kind of way to register to vote.
Yeah.
But yet you don't go vote. I don't get that.
It's phenomenal. Alvin, good to see you, buddy.
Always, man.
Have a great weekend.
You working this weekend? A lot of baseball, or what you doing?
I'll be actually, I have the weekend off, so I'm going to be watching a lot of baseball this weekend.
All right. Any hope for the team, man?
Yeah, it's going to take a bit, though.
All right.
Coverage varies by plan. View contracts and exclusions at endurancewarranty.com.
They say all good things come to those who wait, but not for those who wait for that next auto breakdown that could cost you thousands of dollars. I'm Danica Patrick. In the past 5 years, auto repair costs have gone up over 36%. And if your manufacturer's warranty is expired, you'll have to cover it all. With an Endurance Auto Protection Plan, no matter what the mileage, if your car is under 20 years old, Endurance can get you covered on the engine, electrical system, transmission, drivetrain, and more. Endurance has plans for any budget. Repairs can be done by the certified mechanic of your choice. Plans cover 24/7 roadside assistance, towing, battery jumps, fuel deliveries, tire changes, and lockout services. Act now and get the benefits of our Elite Plan, a $2,000 value at no extra cost. With Endurance, you could never pay for covered auto repairs again. So call now for your free quote.
Call 800-386-6029. That's 800-386-6029. 800-386-6029.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
There's an evil new twist in the tragic story of baby powder and its link to ovarian cancer. Recently uncovered documents reveal that talc can contain asbestos.
The same asbestos that we know causes mesothelioma.
Right, and ovarian cancer.
In the 1970s, the industry wrote its own rules, allowing Johnson & Johnson to claim that its talc was asbestos-free, as long as it contained less than 1% asbestos.
Of course, Johnson & Johnson helped write those rules. So while we're using hazmat suits to remove the asbestos from our homes, Johnson & Johnson was telling women it's safe for their bodies.
Unbelievable. So if you've used talcum powder for feminine hygiene and contracted ovarian cancer, call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
They've already won several large verdicts against Johnson & Johnson for women just like you.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH. That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/opencup.
Retiring soon? Get the information you need by joining Kyle Jones and Matt Allgeier of Fire Capital Management for your retirement highway, Sunday mornings at 9:30. Investment advisory services made available through Pine Ridge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. Securities made available through AE Financial Services, LLC, member FINRA and SIPC.
KMOX is everywhere. 1120 a.m. Streaming live on the Odyssey app and now at 104.1 FM.
All right, Friday on DGS. Dave taking the long weekend back on Monday. And it's gonna be a quiet weekend. I didn't know I had a weekend off from coaching, so now I'm just gonna be chilling.
That's exciting.
It's gonna be a weekend of watching baseball and trivia nighting tonight, and then playing video games and normal stuff.
Sounds wonderful.
I hope I don't have any things I have to do at the house this week.
Yeah.
I can't remember if there's something I need to do right away or if there's something I can put off for another couple of weeks. Like a couple of weeks ago, I had to do some outside stuff that was just beyond the time frame when it should have waited.
Yeah.
And I have a gate that is we have a little like fenced off area where the garbage cans go, and the gate had been just like, so the areas where the screws get screwed into the gate, it's an older gate. It's been there since the house was built. So it's, and it got stripped. So they just pulled right out, and it was like hanging by 2 screws for the whole door. And it's like flopping around, and I kept like propping it up and just rigging it. I'm like, finally I got around to like some kind of simplistic fix that will last for the time being. And I should have done it like 2 months ago, and I waited till like 2 weeks ago.
And isn't it never that bad when you're actually
It wasn't. It didn't take nearly as long as I thought it was going to. But also the whole time I gave myself a puzzle I didn't need to complete. Right? The whole time I'm like, all right, so I got to find a way to patch these holes. I got to find a way I need to get the new hinges. And then I realized, no, I don't. I just have to use this. There's this spray stuff that you can put in to fill in holes, and then you can put the screws into that, and it hardens and it holds. Like, that's at least a temporary fix. I could have done that at any point. It wasn't a super easy thing. It took some time, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
Nice.
It was probably half the time that I thought it would take.
Andrew on the stream is asking what kind of video games you play.
All of them. No, not all of them. 2 types, really. I play sports games, so I play like MLB The Show. I've played MLB The Show probably every day for the last 3 or 4 years. Like, at some point every day for at least a little bit, just because it's a good time killer and I can jump in and out of it because I play franchise mode. I don't always play full games. I do all this stuff I like to manage. I want to be Mo. I want to be the GM. I want to be the president of baseball operations and make all the calls because I'm really good at it in video games. So, that means I'd be good at it in real life, right?
Probably.
No, I play all the sports ones, Madden and college football and NBA 2K, all those, but also first-person shooters and then the RPGs, so the role-playing games like Andrew and I are talking about because there's been a remaster of an old game that was awesome called Oblivion, which was the prequel to Skyrim, which is one of the greatest games ever made in the history of games. And I played it way back in the day, but you hadn't, Andrew, and you've been playing it. It's pretty awesome, isn't it?
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's a great game. So I'll be spending some time on the Oblivion plane over the weekend, and in other parts of Cyrodiil as well.
Mm-hmm.
Look at me, nerdy.
The Imperial City and whatnot.
Imperial City,
and
then be at the mages. School. It's not school. What is it? Is the academy?
I do not know. I haven't gotten there.
I'm gonna have a home. I'm gonna have my own little house there, my own little place there. You get a room at the mages, whatever thingy. Nerd stuff is great.
Yeah, you guys sound so cool.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, I don't do the board games like or like cards like Magic the Gathering. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons. I did play Dungeons and Dragons like in junior high. Probably a little bit in high school too. because that was as cool as it got, really, for any kind of detailed adventure back then, right?
Yeah, we can't all be as cool as Rachel, who's probably going to watch like American Pie 2 or something this weekend. The most random movie you can possibly think of.
Rachel's going to be watching Frasier.
There's no mages in Frasier.
St. Louis, your drive home just got a whole lot better. Introducing Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5. Get the latest local news, up-to-the-minute traffic, and exclusive St. Louis Cardinals insights, all in one power-packed hour. Whether you're stuck in traffic or cruising home, stay informed and stay connected to your city and your team. The Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5, on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
If you need a new garage door, this could be your lucky day. Entries are now open for the $5,000 sweepstakes at Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. The winner will be chosen at random to receive $5,000 towards new garage doors, openers, or front entry doors of their choice. Deadline to enter is the end of the month to win the $5,000 sweepstakes with Overhead Door Company of St. Louis. Enter now at overheaddoorstlouis.com. You can't win if you don't enter at overheaddoorstlouis.com.
This month's Siteman Cancer Center Spotlight is testicular cancer, Dr. Woodson Smelser.
Yeah, so the first step is to talk to your doctor, and generally they would order imaging of the testicle and look for actual tumor, and oftentimes they will do an examination or send you to a urologist to have an examination. And I find that the place where a lot of times men have some hesitance or trepidation, obviously, because it seems like it may be an invasive exam, but that's an exam that could save your life.
Siteman Cancer Center, national leaders in cancer. For more information, visit siteman.wustl.edu.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Chuck McDowell here. If you were misled or lied to in any way when buying a timeshare, right now is your wake-up call. With the tariffs, economy tanking, and inflation rising, you might need to ask yourself this question. Is owning a timeshare a good idea? With all the economic uncertainty, you need to protect yourself and your family. Don't look back and say, if I'd have only got rid of that stupid timeshare they lied to me about. It's time to stop thinking about canceling your timeshare and finally get rid of it and be smart with your money. At Wesley Financial Group, we've saved 48,000 families an average of $65,000 in lifetime payments. Give us a call. I guarantee if we take you as a client, we will cancel your timeshare permanently or you'll pay nothing.
Call Wesley for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040. 800-854-4040.
The American Cancer Society St. Louis Golf Classic is taking place on May 5th at the Boone Valley Golf Club, St. Louis's premier charity golf event to raise funds to support the American Cancer Society's mission of ending cancer as we know it for everyone. Visit stlouis.acsgolf.org to learn more.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, we're starting out the afternoon with delays into the Metro East. It's eastbound 5564 up to the merge with Highway 70, all due to the road construction. Eastbound 5570 at Exchange. That's where you've got the issues. That's where you lose the right two lanes. This was the issue that caused all the delays yesterday afternoon headed to the Metro East. Yesterday, we saw backups into downtown St. Louis, eastbound at 64, eastbound 44, northbound at 55. Don't see those quite yet, but it is early. We have reports of a crash northbound on Highway 55. Looks like that is north of Potomac. Looks like folks are dodging out of that right lane to give the crews room to work there. Southbound on 55 in that same stretch, you start to slow down headed towards the work zone. Westbound on Highway 64, you're on the brakes now at the Science Center, headed out to McCausland. Southbound 270, not bad this afternoon between 64 and Manchester Road. Just pockets of volume headed through there. Out westbound on Highway 64, we're already starting to see some delays now west of Winghaven, out past Lake St. Louis. I'm Frank Ladd on the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
Cardinal Cowboy here. Years ago, doctors said I'd never be independent after a bad car accident. Well, I proved them wrong. When proving who's the best in garage doors, Renner does it every time. Whether it's service or a new door, you're covered with top brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster. Keep your garage door running strong with Renner's $100 maintenance check. Or get a free replacement quote. Call or click RennerDoorSTL.com. Renner, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
You know Gray Bar for electrical parts, but there's one more thing you may not be thinking of us for that can help maximize your next project's total value. Our pre-project planning services are designed to help you win the bid, save on labor costs, and keep your installers productive across your entire build. The sooner you call us, the better. Because when we're there from the beginning, we can anticipate your needs and help you solve problems before they become problems. Yep, Gray Bar does that.
Hi, Stacy with Fairwinds River's Edge Senior Living in St. Charles. Are you a senior seeking a fun retirement? Do you want less work and more play? Do you want to enjoy great food that you don't have to cook? Then I know. Stop what you're doing right now and call Fairwinds. Set up a time to visit and have a meal. Meet some of our awesome residents. Check us out online at fairwindsriversedge.com. We hope to talk with you soon.
Tonight, the Cards, the Brewers. Ameren Total Access 620. Cardinals Radio. 104.1 FM KMOX.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we're more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. We are ready to serve you in the areas of business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. SandbergPhoenix.com. The choice of lawyers is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertising.
All right, coming up on 3:35 on DGS. Dave taking a long weekend. Be back on Monday. The rest of us are here, and as always, joined by Dave Murray at 3:30. Hello, Dave. How are you? We do have a Dave today. We just don't have the Dave today.
There you go. That depends on how you look at it.
Well, that's a good point. In most people's eyes, Dave Murray's kind of the Dave. Although the show's not named after you, so for this purpose,
That's
the
true.
Dave is the Glover.
Just causing trouble.
What's going on? You got anything cool going on this weekend?
No. Though I just looked out our back window.
Yeah.
And the Newport Beach to Ensenada sailboat race is going on right now. And just
you have sailboats in your backyard.
Well, not really, but saw 128
Wow.
sailboats. Yeah, it's really cool. Happens once a year. It's just really neat.
That's
and
cool.
luckily, I was walking and just kind of looked up and I went, "Oh, I bet you that's the race."
Ah.
Sure enough, it is.
Got a good peek at that. What are we looking at this weekend? I know we just had a little rain come through, but it's kind of clearing up now. What's the weekend kind of shaping up like?
It's trying to clear out. Most of the showers have passed now just to the south and to the east of downtown St. Louis. It's on the way out. So again, fading showers, thunder showers. It's not a big deal. Basically just some clouds around tonight. The evening's quite warm in the 70s, 55 for the low. Tomorrow's a gorgeous day. Lots of sunshine, northwest flow. So it's a little bit cooler by about 10 degrees. 69, we'll take it. I mean, come on, 69 is great. 49, a little chilly late Saturday night. The evening's fine. Sunday, partly to mostly cloudy skies. I'm going to kind of keep the idea that there could be a couple of showers. They look limited. They look light. Should be a lot of dry time on Sunday, 72. Much warmer Monday, 85. And still thinking we have a stronger front coming in Tuesday. It's a timing question of when that front makes it to St. Louis this far out. But there could be some strong to severe weather in here Tuesday afternoon. We'll keep an eye on that.
There was some booming in the neighborhood last night.
Yeah. There's nothing severe, but typical April run-of-the-mill thunder showers, thunderstorms.
Severe enough to make my dogs want to climb up in bed and be in there with me.
Well, they're looking for any excuse.
No, they get to sleep there every night at this point now because they're old and I'm being nice to them because they don't. They're little. They don't take up any space. They're like,
okay.
Yeah, they're
you
like
don't have the big labs like I have. That
No.
would just say, okay, we're up in the bed. Time for you to get out.
I used to have we used to have a three. Our first pack was three kind of sled dogs. One was American Eskimo, two were Samoyeds, and the big Samoyed guy, he was a big boy, 70 pounds and a lot of fur, and he loved the bed, but he didn't get to sleep there at night because there's no room. There's just no room.
And when they start to stretch out, it's like
turn
they
sideways.
double in size. Yeah, no.
It's like when your kids are little. Like for whatever reason, they're not allowed to sleep vertically; they have to sleep horizontally. You know what I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
That's why you got to bust that habit early, too.
Really quickly. Yeah. Really
that one's actually a bigger one to bust than the habit of the dogs being in there because it's going to last a while. All right, let's hit some headlines, Rach. What's going on today?
Headlines is brought to you by Schnucks. Reward yourself daily with the Schnucks Rewards app. Well, Americans will have to rise early tomorrow to watch the Pope's funeral. The Mass begins at 10 a.m. local time, which is 4 a.m. Eastern, which is 3 a.m. for us here in the Midwest. You can watch on the BBC. Former President Biden's office said today that he and his wife Jill will be at the services. And of course, President Trump and First Lady Melania are also flying to Rome tonight to attend, though it does not appear that former presidents Bill Clinton, George W. Bush, or Barack Obama will be showing up to the services.
I don't know what the norm is on that. I would guess it's normally the main, like the current sitting president.
The current,
and then,
I think it is, yeah.
After Pope Francis's death, Cardinal Timothy Dolan is heading to Rome. He was among one of the first American cardinals to make his way to Rome to participate in the ritual that will determine the next pope. Wheels, I just watched Conclave.
Did you?
the
Yeah.
other night.
Have you seen that, Dave? The movie Conclave?
I have not, though. I was watching The Five yesterday, and they
Yeah.
kind of gave the ending away. So
Oh!
I don't need to do that anymore.
No, it's really, actually, I'll tell you this, and I think Glover agrees. Rachel, you might agree too. Andrew, have you seen Conclave or no?
Yeah, it's great.
It's great. The ending is actually the worst part of the movie.
Okay.
I think the bulk of the movie is different and is awesome. The ending,
Yeah, the ending's kind of a curveball.
yes, but you could kind of smell some curveball coming as you're watching it. But if you don't like the ending, I don't think that means the rest of it's not good. I think the rest of it is much more entertaining than what happens at the end.
Lots of intrigue.
Yeah. I'm sure it's exactly how it goes down too. Do you ever see the what was it called? I think it was called The Two Popes.
Oh, the evil Pope, Jude Law.
That was the young Pope.
No, that's the young Pope.
Oh.
There was
the young Pope.
No,
with the
there was
evil
one
Pope.
with Anthony Hopkins and another similar age guy where one Pope's going out. It wasn't really the recent transition from, I'm forgetting who it was that retired, Benedict,
yeah.
that retired. It wasn't supposed to be exactly that, but it was supposed to be similar to that. Where there was one outgoing Pope and another one coming in, and they were it was about their back and forth. That was actually pretty good too.
Yeah, the young Pope. I never watched
I was out on that after like 2 episodes because
why are they making the Pope so hot?
well,
This
it's
is
also
weird.
it's also trippy. It's like a
It was
trippy
the
show.
hot Pope that got laid, and it was like, this is weird.
Yeah, it was a trippy show too. Like, there's a lot of weirdness to it. Like, I was just like, nah, not for me. Yeah, it's weird.
A Dutch town accidentally threw away an Andy Warhol.
Oops.
This is worth around $17,000, and it was among 46 artworks that they believe were accidentally thrown away during renovation work on a town hall last year. I don't know. This smells a little fishy to me. I think it's easy to be like, I think we accidentally threw that away, and it's actually hanging up. And like,
somebody's like art room.
Right.
You're gonna put in a little an insurance claim. Yeah, it got thrown away. I don't know. Guess we have to get paid for that.
The American Music Awards announced their 2025 nominations. Kendrick Lamar leads with 10 nominations, and new categories have been added. Artists like Beyonce and Taylor Swift are nominated for Album of the Year. The Album Artist of the Year category features a stacked list of nominees, including Ariana Grande and Post Malone. The award show will be broadcast live from Las Vegas on May 26th and will be hosted by Jennifer Lopez.
Dave, you like Posty, don't you?
No.
That's exactly the answer I was hoping to get in just that style.
I like Post Malone. He's coming to Busch Stadium next month, and I would kind of like to go to that.
I don't love his music. It's not for me. I like him.
He seems
Yeah,
like a sweet person.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I kind of like his style.
He seems like a chill guy. The one thing that he really did that was super cool, and I know everybody knows this, but during COVID lockdown, he just live streamed him singing the whole Nirvana album, Nevermind, and it was good. He was actually really good at that. I'm not really big on the general style that he does, but he seems like a cool guy, and he makes good beer commercials.
Prince Harry says you should keep your kids away from social media to protect them from harm. He made the statements during the unveiling of a memorial in New York City with his wife, Meghan, the Duchess of Sussex. He emphasized the need for more action to address the harm caused by social media and suggested keeping children away from it as much as possible.
Can I just say the last people I'm going to take advice for are people from the royal family?
I'm a little over Harry too.
I mean, just in general though, like all the terrible things they do and have done and do to each other. Why are you telling us anything, man? Just sit back down. Sit back down, Harry.
I saw a clip of Meghan Markle speaking on stage somewhere recently, and she said she puts, in order to spark joy in her life, she puts flower petals on her food. Like scrambled eggs, she puts flower petals on there. And I'm like,
well, don't we all?
Well, that's what I was saying. It's like, I don't think this is giving what you think it's giving. Like, this is not relatable. Most, mom, I think she has 2 kids. Like, most moms of 2 in their late 30s, which is, I think, Meghan Markle's demographic, they don't have time to be like picking off the flower petals and putting it in their scrambled eggs. Like, they're just trying to get out the door and get to work. I thought that was a funny comment.
I mean, like, if you're using phrases like spark your life by throwing flowers on something, stop. Just stop.
One more story for you guys. An FTC ruling is about to change Airbnb. Thanks to the Federal Trade Commission's rule that's kicking in a few weeks, people looking for Airbnbs should expect the site to look a bit different. They're going to start showing the customers the total price of stays, including the cleaning fees and service fees when you do a search result. So now whenever you see the price, it will show all fees. You're not going to be surprised by anything later. The FTC called this bait and switch pricing in the past. And it will go into effect on May 12th.
I think everything should be that way.
I agree.
Everything you get quoted a price on, this is what it costs. And that includes, by the way, when you buy a house.
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's what you're going to pay over the next 25 years. Not just what this house says on the price. Here's what you're actually going to pay over the next 25 years. Agree?
Totally.
Yes.
Yes, agreement into the weekend. Have a great weekend, Dave.
You too.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
And we're sponsored this afternoon by Chesterfield Fence and Deck. We've got delays headed into the Metro East. That's eastbound 5564 from the Missouri side of the Poplar Street Bridge all the way up to the merge with Highway 70. It's all due to the road construction on the east side of the merge with Highway 70, eastbound on Highway 5570. You lose a couple lanes at Exchange. Right in the middle of that at Missouri Avenue, report of an accident there, but it says all lanes are open. That's what IDOT is telling us, so that's not what's causing the delays. It's the road construction. Starting to see that little pocket of volume on the Missouri side of the river, eastbound on Highway 5564 from about the ballpark, headed up towards the Poplar. Southbound on 55, you do still have a pocket of volume starting to form now, just headed towards the work zone south of Arsenal. North of Potomac, you've got an accident reported, a little bit of a slowdown there coming around the bend. Looked like cars were dodging out of that right lane, making their way over to the left lane to avoid an accident. Out of the city, a normal pocket of volume. It's not quite stop and go. Westbound on 64 at the Science Center, southbound on Highway 270. A little heavier now near Olive down to the road construction at Ladue. Northbound on Highway 270, an accident reported just south of Highway 70, so that has you backed up almost a page down northbound on 270. Out west, starting to see stop and go traffic now, making your way west of Winghaven out to Wentzville. Chesterfield Fence and Deck is your premier provider of fences, decks, patios, sunrooms, and more. Call them for a free estimate today, now offering 20% off your next outdoor project. Chesterfield Fence and Deck, chesterfieldfence.com. I'm Frank Lett on the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan, along with Dr. Colleen Bosler from the Audiology Center. Doctor, tell us a little something about the history of the Audiology Center.
At the Audiology Center, we care about our patients. They are like our family. For us, we want everyone to feel comfortable and confident in their choice to work with us. We ensure best practices for our patients, which include real ear measurements and testing to ensure the best possible outcomes for everyone with their hearing aids. Dr. Fon started the Audiology Center in 1982, and I purchased the practice in 2017. Dr. Adam Voss joined us about a year ago, and we all want to use our educational backgrounds and our passion for hearing care to help everyone reconnect to their loved ones. We have been around for 43 years, and we want to earn your trust in your hearing care needs. We have 3 locations. Call us at 636-441-7470 or visit us online at theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Farming's hard. To feed the world, farmers have to work the land, brave the elements, and fight the battle against weeds. Weeds reduce crop yields, so prices go up and everybody gets less to eat. But 50 years ago, farmers got a new tool to fight weeds, glyphosate. It kills weeds while protecting the harvest. Time and again, it has been approved by the EPA and by leading regulatory bodies around the world. It helps enable practices that reduce erosion and keep soil healthy, which is good for the earth. Farming's hard, but it's a little easier with glyphosate. Learn more at go.bayer.com/glyphosate. Paid for by Bayer.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Attention. Have you racked up $10,000 or more in credit card debt? Are you barely getting by making minimum payments? With credit card debt reaching all-time highs, National Debt Relief is notifying consumers about significant debt relief options currently being made available to help those with overwhelming credit card debt. These options may reduce a large portion of credit card debt for those who qualify. You don't need to declare bankruptcy or take out a consolidation loan, and you may only have to pay back a fraction of what you owe, even if you have bad credit. National Debt Relief has already reduced the credit card debt for more than 550,000 consumers. So don't wait. If you owe $10, $20, or even $100,000 in credit card debt, you can now take advantage of this financial debt relief as the cost of living continues to skyrocket. To check what debt reduction you may qualify for, call 800-207-4545. That's 800-207-4545. Once again, that's 800-207-4545.
Another RX Watch, brought to you by Onder Law.
Welcome back to RX Watch. This alert is disturbing.
Right. A while back, we learned that companies like Johnson & Johnson use a mineral called talc in baby powder and other products.
And studies show that talc, when used for feminine hygiene, can cause ovarian cancer.
Now listen to this. RX Watch has learned that the talc they use is being mined in China.
Right, and talc mined in China contains heavy metal contaminants like chromium and magnesium, which are known to cause cancer. But China doesn't care.
So China gets the jobs and we get contaminated talc in our baby powder.
And ovarian cancer.
Right. With their specialized tests, the medical team at Onder Law can help you know if your ovarian cancer was caused by talc.
Onder Law has helped women for years with free and confidential consultation. You need to call Onder Law's pharma attorneys at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
Call Onder Law at 1-800-RX-WATCH.
That's 1-800-RX-WATCH or go to rxwatch.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
All right, so you two guys both put the same thing on the rundown today, that you're done with hype. Explain.
Well, I was just agreeing with Andrew's.
Oh, okay. So Andrew, explain.
I was just agreeing with what Rachel said. What are
Rachel,
we talking about here?
movie hype.
Like movie games, whatever, anything.
Any hype.
I don't care about. I haven't watched a trailer for something in years, maybe a decade. I don't care. I'm not interested. If it's out and people like it, maybe I'll watch it because maybe I'll like it too. Or maybe I'll be interested. I don't have a taste for like
getting excited.
I can't get excited about things that are coming. Like, you don't have that problem at all, Kev.
No, I'll say this feels like a personal attack because I'm always like, Andrew, did you see the trailer? Did you see the release? Did you see that this is coming out? Did you see this?
Kevin will be like, oh man, did you see that they announced this cool like Superman movie or whatever? And I'm just like, well,
Andrew's like, in my day, we didn't care about hype.
Well, it's just like, like whatever. Like if it's out and like I said, if it's out and people like it and my friend Kevin goes and sees it and says it's really awesome,
you say
then I'll
I
check
have
it
no
out.
whimsy.
This is one area where I am severely lacking in whimsy. I will cop to that. I will admit that. I have lost my sense of whimsy when it comes to these kind of things.
Yeah, I put on the sheet like maybe it just means we're depressed or something.
I know. I'm not saying that this is the right way to be. I'm not like endorsing this way of life. I think those trailers and things like that exist for a reason, and it is to make people happy and excited. And life is probably better when you can see that stuff and get super excited by it. But I'm just like, I mean, if you tell me it's like, look at this super cool, like even for like video games, which of course I love, you show me a video game thing that looks cool and you're like, yeah, it's out in 2026. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
It's April 2025.
So,
what am I supposed to think about this for the next year?
Is this a defense mechanism for you guys? Like
for me, it is.
I don't want to be disappointed, so I'm just not going to get excited.
Not even so much the disappointment, just the like, I can't just sit around and think about this thing for the next year. I got stuff to do. Nobody
just thinks about the thing for a year.
I think I'm just over the different tactics they use to get you hyped. Like,
I get you.
A couple years ago, every movie trailer decided, like, you know what we'll do? We'll play like a melancholy cover of a song.
Oh, we're
going to
play a slow version of a fast song. Yeah.
But Lord is going to be singing it.
Yeah.
And it's like you're all doing the same trick. It just doesn't work anymore.
I got you.
It just, there's like a little bit of a lack of creativity, I guess. And then also, yeah, I'm with Andrew. Like, I'm not going to anticipate it for a super long time. I've actually gotten into the habit of trying to avoid trailers, or even if I'm watching just like a reality television show or something, I don't really like to watch scenes from next week's episode because it's like I'll see that whenever I'm watching that episode. I don't need to,
also worth mentioning, they give away the whole dang movie.
The whole dang movie. There's plenty of times I'm like, I don't need to watch the movie now.
Not the good ones.
The whole dang movie.
Not the
but
good ones. Only the crappy
ones.
movies do that. Because if the crappy movies have to put the good stuff in the trailer because they know the rest of it's crap. So that's the one that's going to give everything. The good movies don't do that.
Well, okay, here's a great example of what we're talking about.
That's kind of also a good judge of a trailer. If it feels like it's giving you the whole story, that means that movie's probably not very good.
I saw a image on Twitter today, and it was a promotion for the third Star Wars movie. It's the 20-year anniversary.
Yeah.
And it's like the shape of Darth Vader in the lava.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, whoa. And I'm like, we've already seen the film. We know what's going to happen. I mean, like, I guess it's a clever marketing strategy or like nice.
I thought it was neat.
I mean, it's nice like, graphic design, but
it's
was
just
flipping
neat.
out. I'm
like, I hate this, but I like that
well,
one.
it's just neat as like a piece of art. It's not neat as like a promotion for the film. I don't care about promoting the film. It's Star Wars. It's been out for 20 years. It's a Star Wars movie. Everybody knows what it is.
But it's coming out again.
I mean, I'll go see it.
At Sandberg Phoenix, we are more than just a law firm. Our attorneys are committed to you, your business, and your community. From startups to established businesses to estate plans, we are ready to serve you in the areas of business, business litigation, intellectual property, health law, and products liability. With offices in Missouri and Illinois, you can conveniently visit us today at sandbergphoenix.com. That's sandbergphoenix.com. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
I love the way he articulates things together, examples with all his stage members up there at all different levels, which is wonderful to see and inspiring.
That's Orlando on his Expo experience. It's coming again. Join Del Walmsley and Lifestyles Unlimited for Expo 2025, May 7th through the 10th in Irving, Texas. Get hands-on training from successful real estate investors and learn proven strategies that work. Find out more and save $100 when you text EXPO to 88007, EXPO to 88007.
Ready for instant curb appeal that comes with a 25-year transferable warranty? Call Rhino Shield today. We do brick, block, stucco, asbestos, aluminum, steel, cedar, and more. Over the past 20 years, we've done thousands of homes, businesses, churches, schools, condos, parking garages, large metal buildings, and strip malls, from Champaign to the Lake of the Ozarks. We do flat and sloped metal roofs to extend their lives too. Proud to be veteran-owned and manufactured in the good old USA. So we're tariff-free. We're exceeding expectations every day. Evaluations are free. A+ rated with the BBB and a lot of 5-star Google reviews. Call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Johns Hopkins University has found that just mild hearing loss doubles your risk of dementia, so hearing loss isn't something to ignore.
But hearing aids are so expensive and ugly.
Not anymore. Meet Audion Hearing. You can get nearly invisible hearing aids without a prescription starting at $98 a pair, and they're ready to use right out of the box. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, and with over 1 million customers, Audion is easy to trust. Visit audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
Hey St. Louis, this is Ben Barnett, board certified master arborist with Timberline Professional Tree Care. In my nearly 30 years in the industry, I've seen firsthand what damage falling trees can do to your property. The sad thing is that most trees that fail have defects that can be identified by a well-trained certified arborist. At Timberline, we have 7 ISA certified arborists, 3 of which have gone through extensive training and testing to become tree risk assessment qualified. Our track certified arborists can perform a thorough assessment of your tree and provide mitigation options for your peace of mind. If there's nothing wrong with your tree, we will let you know that it poses a low risk of failure. If it needs to be removed, we'll tell you in a detailed written report. It's all about honesty and integrity here at Timberline Professional Tree Care. So call us today to get a tree risk assessment scheduled, 636-479-7475, or contact us through our website at stltreecare.com.
Traffic from the michaelsflooringoutlet.com traffic center.
Well, we're still seeing delays northbound on Highway 270 now from, looks like, between Page and Highway 70. All due to an accident. It's over to the right side, partially blocking the exit ramp to Highway 70 and the right lane. The through lanes, they just pulled out of the way. That's good news. So right now we're all open now northbound on Highway 270, just north of Dorset, headed up towards Highway 70. But as I said, there's still a bit of a delay there. They're working with debris now eastbound Highway 44 just before Jefferson. That one is blocking at the right lane. So use some caution as you're making your way through there. East of there, pretty good run headed up towards Highway 55. Starting to fill in northbound on Highway 55, ramping onto the Poplar Street Bridge. Eastbound 5564, you have delays from the Poplar up to the merge with Highway 70, all due to road construction on the east side of the 70 merge, and eastbound Highway 5570 blocks the 2 right lanes there. That's what caused those delays yesterday afternoon. Dealing with a school bus incident southbound Highway 79 at Hidden Oaks Drive between Foley and Old Monroe. Apparently the bus lost a tire there and struck another vehicle. There are children on board. Use some caution in that area. I'm Frank Ladd on the michaelsflooringoutlet.com Traffic Center.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
At 4 o'clock, we've got some thunderstorms. It is 75 degrees downtown at the Arch. When will St. Louis learn who is leading the city police department's transition from local to state control? Governor Mike Kehoe says he'll pick one in the not-too-distant future.
We're working in a couple of different people, and we hope to be making an announcement soon.
Kehoe originally said he'd name the transition director within 30 days, but will go past that self-imposed deadline. Missouri State Republicans made another attempt this week to kill voter-approved paid sick leave requirements and a minimum wage increase, but Senate Democrats successfully blocked the vote of the bill for the second time in 1 week. St. Louis County's Tracy McCreary and her fellow Democrats banded together for more than 8 hours to exhaust Senate Republicans.
I think we would have a lot less of amending the state constitution if voters could trust that politicians weren't going to try to undo what they put into statute.
Missouri Senate Republicans say without action, the ripple effects of Proposition A could deal a crushing blow to small businesses across the state. The arrest of a Milwaukee judge.
The Trump administration has escalated its fight with the judiciary over the president's sweeping immigration crackdown. The FBI today arrested a Milwaukee judge accused of helping a man evade immigration authorities in her courthouse. Director Kash Patel says Judge Hannah Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents from the man, who was later caught. Dugan's been released after briefly appearing in federal court, where her lawyer says the judge protests her arrest. The Justice Department had previously signaled it would crack down on local officials trying to thwart immigration efforts. Sagar Magani, Washington.
Missouri Congresswoman Ann Wagner is part of a 10-member bipartisan delegation on its way to the Vatican to attend tomorrow morning's funeral for Pope Francis.
Wagner says she is humbled and honored to represent Missouri at the funeral. It was exactly 1 year ago that she and her husband met with the Pope at the Vatican. The Congresswoman says Pope Francis has left a legacy of service and selflessness that will echo through future generations. Fred Bottomer, KMOX News.
A federal judge declares a mistrial in the corruption case of a sitting Illinois state senator.
The jury deadlocked nearly 23 hours into their deliberations after hearing 2 weeks of testimony, including from a red light camera executive who cooperated with the FBI, as well as from Illinois State Senator Emil Jones himself. Jones was accused of agreeing to take bribes from the red light camera exec in exchange for changing legislation he had proposed that the red light camera industry was against. The Fed said that he then lied to the FBI about the purported bribes. As of now, the jury has been sent home and the judge is scheduling a status hearing. Stuart McMillan, KMOX News.
The KMOX Business Desk, St. Louis-based gas utility Spire has appointed a new president and CEO. Scott Doyle was most recently Spire's executive vice president and chief operating officer. Previously worked with Centerpoint Energy in Houston, Texas. He succeeds Steve Lindsay, who resigned from the post. The Dow from Stifel up 20 points today to 40,113.
Our latest weather maker is not very strong, but we'll see some showers around this afternoon. Any thunderstorms that pop up would be non-severe, and this is not a situation that will be raining all the time. 78 for the high, but it's around. Tonight, any showers fade quickly this evening, mainly a dry overnight, 55. Last weekend of April looks pretty good. Saturday, partly sunny. It's nice. It's cooler. 69 degrees, partly cloudy Saturday night, 49, and Sunday partly to mostly sunny, 74. I'm meteorologist Dave Murray on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
We've got some thunderstorms just to the north of downtown St. Louis, and at the Arch, it is 76 degrees. I'm Michael Calhoun, KMOX News.
The Dave Glover Show is sponsored by the Michaels Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts. IGotFloored.com.
All right, coming up on 4:05 on DGS. Dave out for the long weekend. Back on Monday. The rest of the gang here. And, of course, joined by our friend George Mahey. Hi, George. You don't have any fish to eat today.
I know. Yeah. What's cooking today? You got no food?
No.
And no drink.
I got a protein bar.
This will be a short shift, man.
Yeah, you want a protein bar? I got one of those.
No, thanks.
You can give us your review.
Too healthy.
Was it ICD that brought in the margaritas?
Yeah, I think so.
And they won the whole shebang.
Yeah.
So
and those were from
connect the dots, right?
Right.
Those
exactly.
are from El Tío Pepe, which is one of my favorite Mexican restaurants.
Those were good margaritas.
I love El Tío Pepe. Yeah. They're great. They're always crowded on weekend evenings, so if you're going, go early.
Yep.
Super good. It's tough to park at the O'Fallon one. It's a tight parking spot, but it's worth it. Very much worth it.
Well, hats off to the winners, and that gets us through.
Are you past the pressure now?
Easter, yeah.
You guys were under a lot of pressure.
And Easter's, all of the pressure for Easter and those recommendations are gone. Then we got Mother's Day coming up, but before then, we've got morel mushroom season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You guys can just talk without me.
Yeah, Wheels is a mushroom hater.
I will not touch a mushroom.
That was going to be my first question.
Yeah, they're fine except for the taste, the texture, and the smell. Aside from that, it's fine.
I think, and I've talked to my mushroom guys about this, and most of the time it's the slimy, or what they determine is the slimy
There's
texture.
a slime, but some of them don't have the slime, but they still have the smell and the taste.
Well, then hold your nose and no, but what if those that don't like them, that aren't quite as anti as you are? Here's what I was told to do. Most of the time that sliminess comes from too much oil, too much butter.
Okay.
You're doing it to yourself, and you don't need a lot of that stuff to cook mushrooms. There's so much water in there.
Okay.
Just let it be and let it you can let it kind of brown in its own.
Do you think it's a thing that's kind of like oh crap.
Okra?
I'm spacing. No.
Speaking of slimy,
the aversion to it. Is it like cilantro, where like there are just people that they cannot do cilantro. You taste it, it tastes like soap. Is that a thing for mushrooms?
I think so, but like I said, there's a lot of people that they've just it's usually it's something about it that can be overcome. Maybe you need a different type of mushroom, but this whole mushroom or this whole morel thing is just crazy because this time of year in Missouri, about the 1st of April to the end of April, these morels come out, and it's this, kind of this mystery thing because they pop up at, it has to be 50 degrees and no hotter than 75, and it has to have just rained, and you got to go out to, find a dead elm tree and all this stuff. But people go, there's obsessive groups that get involved with this. There's a Facebook page that is really entertaining. The guy is, he's very passionate, and he's like, go, I just read him today. He goes, go out now. You have 10 days. Get out there, hunt, all capitals. And he's just kind of this kind of wacky guy. And I was just reading all about it. It was just crazy because I didn't realize this. Listen to this. They even have glasses designed to make spotting mushrooms easier.
Oh, interesting.
Like a sunglass type thing. And the name Fungis, EYES. There you go.
Oh, boy.
Boom, boom. And
boy.
So, but these the foragers. I mean, I wrote about this today. They protect their spots. They tend to come up in the same spots. You tend to go back to the same spot. You know where to go back the next April, and people protect their spots like it's a favorite fishing hole. They just don't tell anybody. And I mean, it's literally when I went the first time, I was blindfolded. And he goes, I'm sorry, I just have to do this. I said, I'll play the game. It's fine. And I get in the car and we drive, I think, west into St. Charles County. And we put the car on the side of the road. I take the blindfold off and we proceed to jump a fence. And he goes, okay, we're heading to the woods over there, but we've got a duck walk.
But you're not supposed to know where you are.
No. And I didn't know. I knew I was on a country road and I'm pretty sure I was in St. Charles County. He said, but we're heading over there, but we're trespassing and we have to duck walk. We got to crouch walk all the way over there. I go for like that far. And he goes, yeah. I go, can't we just like run? He goes, no, if the farmer sees us, he'll shoot us.
You guys are.
I said, okay,
I'll really good. Yes.
So we did. So I, down on my, crouch.
You're willing to get shot over mushrooms.
Well, I didn't know it was going to involve that.
Okay.
So we make it to the woods and I'm 5 minutes into this and I find a mushroom. I find a morel that's 7 inches tall. And that was like a world's record. He called it he said, you were the luckiest. Oh my God, you're my good luck charm. That's a beer can. I go, what does that mean? He goes, that's what they call a giant morel mushroom because it's as big as a beer can. So anyway, I was obviously invited back, but when I got like a pound and a half, and it was fun kind of padding around the woods and trying to find these
How much
things.
they pay you?
And they don't, these are for personal consumption.
No, I'm kidding.
So, but the funniest part of it, so we get back and we duck walk, back through the guys, and we get back to the car. He goes, we got to have a tick check. I go, excuse me? He goes, we have to check each other for ticks. Take off your shirt. And I take off my shirt and I've got ticks. There's more than one tick. And I went, oh my gosh. And
still worth it?
Yeah, well, yeah. Listen to the rest of the story. So I said, when that started, it's like, and you're like checking your hair. And he goes, well, this was a bad run. He goes, you got to drop your pants. And I said, so the two of us are out there on this country road with our pants at our ankles, checking each other for ticks. And who decides to drive by but 4 guys on Harleys? And there we are. And I'm going, no, it's not what it's like a Seinfeld episode. No, it's not what you think. No, tick check.
Like,
it's a
okay,
tick check.
Brother.
And they were honking and doing that. And I'll never forget that as long as I live. Awesome. And
oh man.
And when I was in the restaurant business, guys would come in with mushrooms, but I didn't understand why this was. They had the bottom of their jeans were duct taped to their shoes.
There you go.
And now I know why. It was so they didn't have to endure the embarrassment of a tick check on a country road.
Was this stuff left out of your preparation because they didn't want you to back out?
What? What now? Like
they didn't tell you might get ticks and you're going to have to worry about a farmer coming out and shooting at you.
No, none of that was, no. And the ticks are, it's a random thing. There could be no ticks. There could be tons of ticks.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my inauguration too, and
pretty funny.
I have not done it since, but I'll never forget.
You
that
sure you're not
story.
going to go out and do it again this weekend?
I'd go out and do it, but I'd do
Get some
the
duct
I do
tape.
the duct tape thing. I think. But it's so it's so interesting. I talked to a guy. It had to be, I think it was 15 years ago, and he was like a professional forager. And that was his, people it's their hobby.
Yeah.
Families go out into the woods, and it's this bonding experience when they go out and try to find mushrooms. But he said, no, there's this group of people that he knows that start in Texas, when the season starts, it starts there first. And then progressively this group moves north. And he said it takes several weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. But, and they end up, they have their spots, and they basically travel north. By the time they get to North Dakota, it's chanterelle season in Texas again. So they drive back to forage for chanterelles, and they do this, this is what these guys do. And he said this one guy has, does it for a month every year, and he dries all these mushrooms in his hotel room. He said he fishes half the time and forages half the time. So he's just having a good old time. And this was in 2010. He made $20,000 in a month, which is probably twice that now. And I said, boy, that's pretty good money. He goes, yeah, and he was fishing half the time. So,
all right.
Anyway, that's this whole morel mushroom thing is very interesting. And for those, Rachel, you're not as averse, I hope.
Love that. I always have loved morel mushrooms. My brother takes his girls out to hunt for them.
Oh,
I
wow.
just did like last week. It's big up in Grafton. They actually just had like a gathering. I think it was last weekend where people could meet at Raging Rivers Water Park and go down that property and search for mushrooms. So
you
cool.
can forage on, I think it's legal on state land to go and do that and forage for personal use. You can't do that and sell them, but a lot of these guys, like I said, they know private people that they contract with, and they've got different places that they go. But it's interesting, the local ones, there's so few that most of them don't, it's personal use, and occasionally they'll make it in the back door of a restaurant. Like I used to have, and guys used to come in with bags of mushrooms, and we would write them checks on the spot. We'd weigh them, and it was this kind of black market thing. And
man,
I remember the guy had bags of orange chanterelle mushrooms, and the chef said, write that guy a check for $400, and we bought his whole supply. I just didn't know that kind of thing existed, but
we're learning about your life of crime, George. You're sneaking into land to get mushrooms. You're buying them on the black market.
And life of shame on the side of the road. Oh my gosh!
You got the Sons of Anarchy going by, going.
Oh. but anyway, so in this article today, I did mention some of the restaurants in town that serve. They tend to serve the dishes with morel mushrooms, and most of them come from the Pacific Northwest because, like you said, the local guys there just aren't that many of them. But there's one particular guy that does sell the ones from the Pacific Northwest at the Tower Grove Farmers Market. So that's one retailer that you could find them in. And like I said, there's a couple, some of the nicer restaurants in town. These guys get their morels. It's just like a rite of spring. And one guy at I guess it's the old Balaban's, now Herbie's. They have a morel pasta that's so addicting and so tasty, and people it's like Pavlov's dog. When are you going to start? We got to have it. And anyway, so this will happen at Herbie's as soon as these things become available, which I'm told is in a week or two, coming from the Pacific Northwest. So mark your calendars,
or a farmer's,
or head into the woods.
Yeah.
and bring your firearm. It's just a good time, and like I said, the more you look into it, the more fascinating the whole thing is, and it's just this wild edible. I'm a fun guy. What can I say?
Yeah, I mean, you're definitely we call you the mushroom pirate.
Yeah.
No, that's bad.
Well, so many people. I've met so many. Once you bring that up, and everybody's got
that was a great story.
Some
George.
sort
that's
of,
funny
and
as
it's true as it can be, and I'll never forget it. And every time I see this guy, we look at each other and do this fake pants
like,
dropping.
Keep your hands
deal.
off me, buddy.
That's right. Turn around. Oh my God! But ticks are crawling. Yeah, we don't have to go all.
No, that's good. Anything you want to tease from the podcast this week?
We're still in. Again, we do it every 2 weeks, so I have to remember. The oldest restaurants in town, we talked about the oldest restaurants in town, but the oldest restaurants that still have it together, that are still doing really well.
Okay.
Because there's a bunch of older ones, in my opinion, that aren't doing, they're kind of
getcha.
resting on their laurels, and they maybe had their day.
So you didn't name those.
No, we didn't. I've written about those.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and they're in this article, and we did a podcast. We mentioned, I guess, I don't know, 12 or 15 of our ones that we thought were really good. But the one at the top of the list was, when I first wrote this, I said, well, I'm pretty sure the oldest restaurant in town is Crown Candy Kitchen. I'm pretty sure that's it. And because we had a little, one of these little betting games around the bar. What do you think it is? And it wasn't Crown Candy Kitchen. It was, it's Beffa's. Beffa's is the oldest in town. And it's 100, and it was 1898. So do the math. That's 127 years. And then Piccadilly at Manhattan was the second. So I was really off. I forgot about them completely. That's, where that place is. And the owners live upstairs. It's in a residential neighborhood in near Maplewood. Very charming. The Charcoal House was third, and Crown Candy Kitchen was fourth on that list. So anyway, I've got this article written. I go back 50 or I guess 40 or 50 years, all the way up to 127, and then again the podcast was good. We talked about Amagetti's was on the list. Who else? Joya's Deli. That's 107 years old.
Yeah.
And they've all got stories, and they're all, you just love to hear about these places that are, it's just a tough business. To make it 10 years, you're doing great. To make it 100 years, it's not.
Can't even conceive of it.
No, it was a good time. It was a good discussion. So
sounds great.
There you go.
Great stories today, George.
Okay.
Keep your pants up. Have a good weekend.
Traffic from the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
Well, we'll start with the good news. They cleared all the construction out of the way, eastbound 5570 east of the 64 merge. That's the good news. All lanes are back open there. That's what caused those issues yesterday afternoon on the afternoon rush hour. Still seeing delays, though, headed into the Metro East, eastbound 5564 crossing the Poplar, coming around the bend, headed up towards past Route 3, up towards the merge with Highway 64. There was an earlier accident eastbound on 5570 near 203 that was also slowing you down. Southbound on Highway 55, you got your normal pocket of volume south of our Potomac, headed down towards the work zone. South of there, a great run headed towards Highway 270. Up in North County, we are seeing delays, and I can't pinpoint why, but it's eastbound on Highway 270, just east of 367, headed up towards the Chain of Rocks Bridge. The delays had extended into Illinois, so that's easing up just a little bit, but it's a stop-and-go stretch there, east of 367, almost to the Chain of Rocks Bridge. Westbound on 64, you're heavy coming down the hill, headed toward Chesterfield Valley. Then again, you're back on the brakes in pockets again. Make your way west to Winghaven, headed out towards Lake St. Louis and Wentzville. I'm Frank Ledd in the MichaelsFlooringOutlet.com Traffic Center.
This report is sponsored by McKelvey Homes.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan of McKelvey Homes. Have you always wished for a brand new home in an established neighborhood? Select one of our move-in ready custom homes throughout St. Louis, or we will build on your lot. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
Hey, this is Charlie Brennan. Have you noticed loose bricks or missing mortar around your house, on the walls, the patios, the walkways, the porch, or the chimneys? If so, you need to call Morelli Tuck Pointing. 314-645-1387. You might need one of two things: solid tuck pointing, the removal of old mortar with the replacement of new mortar throughout an entire wall or chimney, or maybe just spot tuck pointing. Spot tuck pointing involves the tuck pointing of a particular wall, a chimney, or other masonry surface in an area where it's needed the most. One example might be settlement cracks, usually found above or below windows or doorways. 314-645-1387. Call the company that the Brennans have called when we've needed tuck pointing. Morelli Tuck Pointing, the masonry specialists. Winner of the Angie's List Super Service Award every year since 2005. 314-645-1387, MorelliTuckPointing.com.
The Lamar Hunt U.S. Open Cup is coming back to St. Louis on May 7th. Join us at Energizer Park for the round of 32 as St. Louis City SC hosts Union Omaha and plays for the historic trophy. Get tickets now at stlcitysc.com/Open Cup.
Will new tariffs impact small businesses? Rising costs and economic uncertainty can hurt your bottom line. But with Swish Funding, your business can stay strong. We offer fast, flexible funding solutions from $10,000 to $2 million for working capital, cash flow, and more, and as little as 24 hours with no collateral needed. If your business earns at least $50,000 per month and has been around for over a year, you could qualify today. Go to swishradio.com and use code RADIO. Swishradio.com, code RADIO.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular to get the same fast nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month, and now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and start saving today. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is a story of the one. As a maintenance specialist for University Housing, he knows college students can major in wear and tear. Plus, housing so many students doesn't leave a lot of room to house all the supplies he needs. That's where Grainger comes in. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast, dependable delivery, Grainger carries the quality products he needs so he doesn't have to. From a new door hinge to a whole new faucet. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
O'Reilly. Get one free set of Brake Best brake pads when you buy 2 Brake Best Select brake rotors. You can upgrade to Brake Best Select brake pads for just $10 more, or upgrade to Brake Best Select Pro or import direct pads for just $20 more. Visit your local O'Reilly Auto Parts. Offer in store only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. 104.1 FM KMOX, the voice of St. Louis. Stronger than ever.
All right, Friday on DGS. Dave taking a long weekend. He'll be back Monday. The rest of the gang here. Lots of baseball tonight on KMOX. Redbird Rush Hour coming up after the 5 o'clock news. That'll be me and Bernie Miklas and Matt Pauley. And then Matt will have you for the pregame show, which takes you all the way up to first pitch at 7:15 tonight. Cardinals and the Brewers here on KMOX, obviously 104.1 and on the AM side as well. Andrew, question for you.
Sure.
What's this McDonald's thing?
I don't know.
You had it on the rundown. You put it on the rundown. You had a McDonald's thing.
Well, I didn't have a McDonald's thing. I was typing out my address for something, and I instead of putting my street name, I put McDonald's.
Wait, what?
As the street name. And I thought that
Why
was
did you do that?
I thought that was funny.
What? So what were you typing your address for?
Online shopping.
Okay, so you're saying this is where it should be sent to.
Yeah, I was making a purchase, putting in my billing address.
It didn't autofill. You typed in McDonald's.
I typed in McDonald's instead of my street name.
Was it just like a total brain fart? Or
yeah,
what?
it was just a mistake.
Were you thinking I want to go to McDonald's at the time?
No, I wasn't thinking about McDonald's at all. I just realized.
So it just happened like ghostwriting. You guys ever seen what are they called? Auto something where somebody writes and there's
correct.
No. People are writing.
Find and replace.
No. There are people writing, but the writing is being done through them by his spirit from the spirit world.
Magic.
It's like auto writing or something like that. Is that what's happening to you?
Maybe
a spirit just came through you, and you're like, it's like McDonald's.
Maybe so.
Ronald McDonald.
I just thought that was funny. That was just a funny anecdote of needing to write my street and writing McDonald's.
I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm not going to ask you to give us your address on the air.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go out on a limb. It's not close to McDonald's.
It's not close to McDonald's. No.
You're not like,
and it's
McDonald
also not,
Boulevard.
It's also not close to a McDonald's. I just looked down after I wrote the numbers and then I wrote McDonald's. And I was like, oh, why did I write that? That's not right.
I feel like it should have been like you were just browsing the menu and you're going to order something and you just did another thing.
None of it had anything to do with
so
McDonald's.
There's no connection whatsoever.
It was like 9:30
your brain was
PM.
just like trying to send you a message.
My brain, I was subliminally wrote McDonald's.
Dude, our brains are so sneaky. So sneaky. Like just pushing stuff in there. Where did I? Oh, I sent it to the group, Rach. Remember the thing I sent about it was Pete Holmes doing a stand-up about dreams?
Yeah.
And how basically you're just doing it to yourself. Like everything in your dream, you're doing it to yourself. You're fooling yourself. You're making yourself scared. You're making yourself nervous. I thought that was hilarious. And your brain just wanted McDonald's.
Yeah, I just wanted some McDonald's.
His brain was like hungry.
Did it work?
Well, I remembered my real address.
No, but you didn't like go,
No, it was like 10 o'clock at night. It was too late for McDonald's.
Sorry. Did not catch that part.
St. Louis, your drive home just got a whole lot better. Introducing Redbird Rush Hour, weeknights at 5. Get the latest local news, up-to-the-minute traffic, and exclusive St. Louis Cardinals insights, all in one power-packed